Lightning zapped the sky like crazy. One dude caused it, smashing the ground and tossing haters everywhere. They call him King Fist. He owned the Jianghu with just his bare hands. Total boss move. Everyone forgot his real name, Dan Wong, and just stuck with King Fist. Bloody knuckles, whatever. He kept grinding like a tank. Some random crew jumped him, but those scrubs were total trash compared to him. He wrecked him. Just 2 bosses left, chilling on a hill watching the mess. They looked pro, but King Fist had 0 clue who these randoms were or where they spawned. Don shouted. He was giving their minion back. Then he yeeted the body right at their feet. Mountain Guy asked his sword demon for a boost. Fist saw him slice his own buddy instantly. Cold. Clearly, this dude played dirty and had 0 chill. Dan spotted the crest on the blade, and it screamed toxic player all over it. He asked if they repped the demonic clan. One guy hopped down the ravine and said he was impressed Fist lasted this long. Said he was the real deal. Don said, zip it. 10 hits, and you're done. He bragged. The guy wasn't scared, just shocked at the ego on this lad. Stranger lit up his blade and said, bet, let's see if you can back that up. Fight started. Fist King charged up his punt. He spammed attacks, and the other guy couldn't react. Shocked by the speed, the guy gasped as pain wrecked him, and that was just hit 1. King Fist did it again, landing perfect combos, but he realized he was barely missing the crit spots. Dan felt someone nerfing him. He was spot on. Up top, the second baddie was casting spells. He used hacks to glitch King Fist's hands. Don got distracted by the magic user, and the sword guy seized the chance to stab his chest. Smug butt, looking pretty. Gassed, he said King Fist's run was over. Dan, tied up by magic and stabbed through, still scraped up enough HP for one last hit. Enemy didn't see it coming. Looked like Fist might actually clutch it, but he ran out of juice. Even the haters had to admit he was cracked. When Fist died, the magic camper finally jumped down. He said it could have been super sketchy, but hey, at least it wrapped up nice. Sword guy poked his foe just to check if King K was actually toast. But boom, right then, he caught a massive smack. The jaw since King Fist wasn't clocking out yet. Dan Wong craved a rematch, but his battery was hitting 0. He coded the guy, but a glorious victory. Yeah, right. Despite trying hard, King Fist, Dan Wong got wrecked by demons, wishing he could swing just once more. 2 birds were vibing high up when a huge flash lit up the whole sky. It all went down at a fancy crib on Mount Ju. Birds chilled by the window, creeping on the drama inside. The dude in bed was totally bugging out, feeling weird until he saw his helper. Ask ye good bruh. She looked stressed, clueless why he was acting sus, and he was lost too. His head was pounding, spinning, memory gone, but he figured someone likely fixed him up. Dude checked his hands, 0 scratches, clean slate. Maid asked if young master wanted water, leaving him shook. He had no clue. She used that fancy title. Then he hit the mirror and froze. His blood ran cold, and the guy was totally spooked. He grabbed his face, yanked his cheek, skin, and hair, thinking someone glued a mask on him. He checked for a neck seam no mask, but that didn't chill him out. Parked in front of the glass. He kept tugging his face until the staff panicked and ran for a doc. The scared maid realized her boss was looking and acting super weird. The guy sat on the bed by the mirror, thinking, no way those demon dudes did this, or else they'd already owned the whole Jianghu estate. But one big question was still hanging there. He had 0 clue who was staring back at him in the reflection. He started pacing, trying to jog his memory, hoping it'd click, but he didn't get far. His bod was weak as a baby deer. He sat, realizing he was now a wimp. He spotted a folder on the desk labeled Yanja Trading Group. Name rang a bell. Definitely heard that somewhere before. Yanga was this huge retail chain near Mount Zu. Had to be huge if he knew M, since he never messed with biz groups. The name of the group's boss was right there on the paper. It was Li Jin Yang, apparently the guy who owned this body. Plus, tons of letters for Jin Yang about cash, bets, and girls. He had 0 urge to go out, lend cash, or chase chicks. After reading that trash, he grabbed his head in. Total bummer if his life was just basic tier. Now, done reading, realized it wasn't magic or a costume. 0 weird energy vibes. Only option left, reincarnation. Maybe Dan scored a new avatar after dying. Totally nuts. Yeah, but logic had left the chat. Maid person, interrupting his brainstorm. First young master, dragged in a doc named Gon Mung. Guy asks the boss how he's vibing, good or bad. Jinjun didn't know, the dude, who's this? Doc, trying not to bawl, says the staff snip. ... Master single quotes. Sick. He's panicking cause master's clueless. Tried to grab a wrist for a pulse check, but the kid, ... yanked away. Chill. I'm good. No drama. Literally fine. Doc's relieved. Cook the fave meal. Guy says, bring it. Just chicken broth? Doc swore it was a gym in a bowl. The kid, instantly, Smelled a rat? Phoenix dragon soup. Great for fit peeps. But for a sicko? Like Jinnen, poison? Plus, Doc was sneaky checking pulse. Bet, the quack was weirded out, Jinnen wasn't a corpse. Dude kept hyping the soup, swearing, eating it makes you ripped like martial arts tourney kids. Jinnen hit him with, how long have those fights been a thing? Doc shrugged. Maybe 200 years. Kid paused. Zero appetite. Leave the grub there. Then Jin Yong kicked the Doc. Out. Nap time. Keep out. Period. Finally, ditching the crowd. He could think. Doc said the 200th Phoenix Dragon Brawl was near. Means Dan hasn't been dead long. Sweet news. Demon Crew's still alive. Plus, that snaky Doc? Total cringe. Realized he was stuck with people begging for a punch. This time, one shot, everyone drops. Easy. Feudus flew by. Table stacked with heavy eats. Maids hyped, he was chowing down. Squaw was stoked he was eating and walking again. Jinnen looked way less wrecked than day one. Getting buff fast, hit the dining room. Yo, breakfast. Ready? Starving. Hoping for a massive feast. Then told the staff to keep breakfasts huge and simple. Maids loved it. Looks like the big boss was finally feeling the vibe. Jin was destroying his breakfast when a maid rudely interrupted. Yo, Mung is here. She bowed, but the Doc looked super salty about something. Dude was staring daggers at the table, the grub, and the kid eating it like he was seeing a ghost. Jinyun didn't get why the guy was being such a simp, but he knew he'd catch this rat soon. Jinyun asked, what's your damage? But Mung just started mumbling excuses. Then the guy goes full drama queen, sobbing because his fave patient didn't recognize him. I couldn't stand the loneliness. He whined, claiming he came to check the vibes, but noticed Jin's glow up and realized his shady plans were a total flop. Jin grilled him. Did you think poisoning me with that dragon soup was a flop too? Dr. Mung froze like a deer in headlights. He totally didn't expect the kid to be this sharp. Big misunderstanding, he stammered. That soup is a superfood, bro. The teen scoffed. Weird, could he sworn it was straight venom, not lunch. The Doc acted all hurt. I'm not an I'm your personal healer. Man, how could you? Dude was barely holding back crocodile tears. He hid his face like an anime character. Fine, if I'm not welcome, I'll bounce. He paused, obviously waiting for Jin to beg him to stay, then spun around, grinning, ready for an apology. Jin was like, you crash my pad? Then leave without asking. Rude. The teen didn't get the power trip, but seeing Mung's panicked face, he laughed. Just kidding. Then Jin commanded, grab a pen. I need to send some letters. Old school style. I'll talk. You right. Don't mess it up. Because Mr. Lee is super sick. I gotta crash at the estate for a bit. Since I'm stuck here, hit me up with some advice on what's next. The Doc's face turned tomato red, and Jin asked why'd you stop typing, ... I mean, writing? Nothing, Mung squeaked. You're just seeing things, boss. He tried to act chill and ready to keep scribbling. Zap. Something poked Mung's neck before he could even blink. Jin turned to him. Spoiler alert, ain't the weak little patient I used to be? Mung squirmed. What do you mean? Jin broke it down. That Phoenix soup? Great energy, drink for healthy gym rats. But for a sick guy like me, pure poison. You should have known that. Actually, you did know. It would wreck my energy flow. I saw you checking my pulse, pretending to care, but Janang caught the vibe immediately. Noticing that when he said he wasn't hungry and told everyone to dip so he could sleep, the Doc totally exposed himself. When the guy said to leave him alone, the doctor's reaction was super sus. That dude wanted to unalive patient so bad he couldn't even keep a poker face. Obviously, the Doc wasn't soloing this. Janang demanded the boss's name right now. The doctor tried to gaslight him, acting confused, like I don't get why my master would suspect a nice guy like me. Why are they so toxic? Then he dropped some fake tears, hoping his patient would fall for the cringe act and stop asking questions. But Janang was like, nah, mask off, buddy. The Doc claimed he was just helping him game in with some class. Zero options left, and if needed, Dr. Mung was ready to wipe the whole server of servants to stay quiet. Janang got bored of the yapping and chopped the trader's neck. Bonk. He tried to finish breakfast after that, but his hand glitched out. Weird, cause it hurt like crazy. Turns out, this avatar is super squishy and weak. Janang realized he needs to buff his stats fast. Even one hit hurts him. He needed to grind XP and once he leveled up, the villain's identity wouldn't even matter. Even if it's the Yanha clan, they're cooked. He also needs to loot Dr. Mung, but the Doc was leaking HP on the floor, totally useless. Suddenly, a massive headache lagged him out. Graphics got blurry, and he couldn't move. He saw the Doc alive again, just a memory playback from the original owner. Finally, unlocking the lore of his mysterious past. Or rather, the lore of the new body he possessed. He started crying as the download finished. Lai Jinyen was the rich heir of the Yanha group. dumber than Bro 2, weaker than Bro 3. Total mid. Jin was basically a failed main character. He flexed cash to cope but just drowned in a party lifestyle. When the young dude wanted a redemption arc, it was already his health crashed, so the fam banished him to the boonies. If the files are right, the main clan didn't care about this exile. At first, King Kulikov spawned in with 0 memories. Now he remembers everything. Time to spam martial arts training. Sucks to see how much potential was wasted. With his pro strats from the past and a few rare potions, he'll level up instantly. He's got the cash to pot a win, his way to the top now. Time flew, and the dude's inner power finally woke up and said hello. He downloaded every survival martial art into his muscles like a cheat code. We're talking fancy footwork, super body hacks, speed steps, and zap controls, specifically the 10 phase, white lightning. Right now, the kid hit phase 4. Honestly, totally smooth sailing. So far, Jin buffed his physical stats big time. Got swa and meditated 24/7. He was crazy fast. Good slice of falling leaf before gravity noticed, but was he happy? Nope. Still felt weak sauce. His brainstorm got crashed by a security guard named Mach from the family biz. Mach bowed low, handing over some mail from the main house. Jin grabbed it, ready to check the news. Mach's jaw dropped. Was this really Lil? Jin from back in the day? 'Cause the sickly kid was supposed to be toast a year ago. Jin stood their hand out, waiting, while the guard froze, seeing the boss alive. Finally, got the note and scanned the deets. Turns out, Pops is super sick and stuck in bed. That totally bummed Jin out. Note didn't say why, but Mach bet the young jerks were stressing him out. It was no secret there. Biz paid protection, but the fees piled up till they were totally broke. Jin asked if the clan actually earned that extra dough. Mach was like, nope, they did zip, calling them straight up garbage dogs. Even when a rival sect tried to tax them, the clan just said, we only chat with the boss for big drama. Then, crickets. Nothing happened. Security couldn't even whine, 'cause Big Bad who ran the show. Who was an A-lister in the martial world? A super strong dude with serious clout. Jin got it who thought merchants were total trash. So, they had to handle the clan themselves. Mach freaked that Jin wanted to fight. But wait, there's more tea on dad. Turns out, the second and third brothers had a sword fight. Pops saw it and crashed. Weird vibe, but Pops raged so hard he nearly croaked. Guy couldn't even process it. His kids slicing at each other right in front of him. Jin knew it wasn't his beef and he was safe. But he couldn't just sit there eating popcorn. Jin told Mach to leave the note. Dude was still shook 'cause the big bro couldn't care less about his family. 0 chill. Then he pops up, all serious. I'll handle dad and the drama myself. The dude was totally selling it, hands flying, spilling every detail. No one bought it, but the guard was like, yo, rich kid changed. He's a martial arts beast now. Look at that bot. The guards literally pictured young master Jin as that wasted party animal who couldn't fight a breeze. I mean, it was possible he mastered the art of napping. Black belt and the guards didn't vibe with that. Joke's gotta be kinda believable, right? Like saying the vice cap's got a secret girlfriend. But we all know that's totally fake news. Just like Jin's skills, Cap Han asked, is he actually fit though? The Cap remembered the young dude from back in the decade was actually pretty athletic. Still, hearing he's a kung fu master now? Super sus. Wonder when he'll show up so we can see for ourselves. Just then, boom, announcement. Young master, Jin is here. Time to see what's real. The squad rolled out to say, hey, to the boss. They were salty about honoring a loser. But Han said, he pays us. Move it. Jin stood by the gate of his massive childhood crib. Place looked filthy rich. Totally insane flex. Jin heard rumors about the clan, but this power, wild, and now he's officially part of this loaded squad. He told the maids, I'll see dad solo. You girls chill? They were shook. Jin strolled around the estate, checking the vibe. Kinda weird, no one came to welcome the boss though. All the guards lined up, neat. Welcomed young Master Jin back to the base. Vice Cap Han stepped up and dropped a polite bow. He said hi and was like, whoa, you look totally different. Han said he was stoked to see him strong and healthy. One guard thought, Cap's kissing up way too hard, 'cause old Jin was a stuck-up jerk who just barked orders. Bet he's gonna mock us any second now. But Jin looked at the security cap with legit kind eyes. Then the young boss reached out and said, thanks for the warm welcome for a mess like me. Jin thanked them all. The guards were confused. Brains fried, did that loser actually say thanks? Insup was like, told ya so. Guys, Big Bro had a major guards were shook. Hanyup vibed with him too. Seemed like an ally now. The vice captain took Jin Yong to Pop's room, saying he sent a heads up. Jin Yong said thanks, but then some loud voice boomed. It was brother number 3. Jay. He threw shade at his lazy big bro, but he froze. Bro's vibe was different scary. Even Hanyup remembered how Jay bullied the eldest. Thought Jin Yong would get wrecked again. The vice cap, grabbing Jay's hand, gushed about the happy reunion. Bet you guys missed each other. Jay snapped. He decked the guard, yelling, "Don't touch me. You're crossing the line." Jay went, he was over his talentless, bro. Was the guard gonna act dumb too? Jin Yong watched, wondering if he school the kid so he'd never glare again. Didn't wait. Jin Yong slapped his brother hard. Jay hit the floor instantly. Coot. He looked up, totally clueless. Jin Yong grabbed Jay's shoulder, saying he was stressed from the trip. He squeezed hard. Jay cracked and screamed, "Psycho!" Jin Yong, still gripping his brother, said, "That's big bro to you." Lesson learned. The security guards were buzzing, like bees, gossiping in the hall instead of working. Middle bro Wei-on walked by and heard the drama. He asked the guard what was up near Dad's room. Hanyip said brothers 1 and 3 were beefing. Number 3 started it. Asked why, nobody stopped it. Thought big bro would lose. But nope, total opposite. Jin Yong kept pummeling Jay, hurting him, but stifled his screams near sick Dad's door. Jin Yong saw the middle bro arrive. Looking just as shocked as the rest, they quit the hall to go sip tea inside. Wei-on said hi, mentioned the return. Noticed big bro looked totally fit. Wei-on's arm was bandaged. Jin Yong knew who did it. He walked up as Jian rebooted and smacked him into next week. That hit different, pure agony. Jin schooled him. Pull a blade on fam. Get wrecked. Ja had to choke out, sobbing like a loser, that he'd never try that mess again. The wildest part, Jin used to be the punching bag, not the puncher. The middle bro watched Jin go, full beast mode on the kid. Wawen was like, "Yo, did you swap bodies or something?" Jin totally ignored that. He just snagged a random paper off the desk. Just the squad list for tomorrow's big meetup. Saw Dr. Meng's name. Jin had been dying to know who hired that guy. Now the puzzle pieces clicked. The dude staffing everyone from security to the door guys. Totally, Wang Hu. Even the doc was his pick. Jin stared them down. "You guys snitching for the Wang crew. Spill." Hua, the bossy one, was like, "No way, dude." And Yahan called the idea total nonsense. Ja would literally croak before letting some Rondo steal their turf. Cause Dad spent ages building this empire. Jin grinned. Music to my ears. Boys. Stoked. He didn't have to delete his own siblings today. Then he asked if the VIPs were showing up tomorrow. They nodded. Yes. So Jin decided, cool, I'm crashing that party. Before they could blink, he bounced to go hang with Dad. Heian couldn't figure out what sort of glow-up Jin just had. And Yan wished he hadn't skipped training camp. Jin slid into his sick dad's room. Dad was hyped to see his formerly disappointing son. Asked what's with the ruckus outside? Jin kept his mouth shut about the drama. Just mentioned hearing the sickness was from stress. Dad agreed, too much pressure. Body giving up. Dad patted his son's face and was like, "You look actually cool now. Is this the same kid?" Even while sick, he was glad his son wasn't a mess. Jin nodded. Still felt super weird though. Since he grew up solo, having a dad was a new vibe. Foster kid life. You know, in his past life, zero luck with the but with these new memories, Dad was legit always there for him. Liang Min was basically a legend. Now, his hand looked frail, like a tiny bird claw. When did he shrink from boss mode to defenseless old guy? Seeing him weak stunk. "Pops, don't stress," Jin pleaded. He swore he'd eat the cause of all this drama, cause Jinyan was totally gonna handle this mess. No more panic attacks allowed. Dad was confused by Eliminate, but the kid smiled all cute. It was like, "Chill, Dad. Seriously, just catch some G." Next morning, Yona Group held a massive meeting. Everyone huddled in the hall to chat deep. Unhu, the security head honcho, was there too. Him and his squad were whispering, side-eyeing the new kid in the room. It was Jin Yang, the big boss's eldest son. Dude looked super serious and totally ripped. Nobody got why he came. He usually ignored the biz. Who figured the rich kid was just scared of losing his spot. Yin, the supervisor, stepped up and goes, "If y'all are good, let's talk shop." But suddenly, a hand shot up to speak. It was "Young master needs a guard," he says, "and I got a guy." Folks noticed Wang who couldn't stop. Half the staff was his clan already. People tried to shush the critic, but he kept spitting facts. Like, yeah, that was the vibe. But then a teacup got slapped out of the guy's hand. Freaked everyone out. Who was like, "My bad," slipped. But the message was loud. Don't cross him. Then the dude asked the room again if anyone had thoughts on his plan. Dead silence. Wang, who was about to drop the name of his pick for the heir's bodyguard. But Jin Yong cuts in, hand raised high. The kid announced he had a gripe and a little idea of his own. Jin marched right up to the security boss and yelled, "My plan is to fire Mr. Wang Hu." Everyone's jaws hit the floor. Thought it was a prank or the kid was just clueless. Get how much the security chief obsessed over keeping the squad safe. Wu Yang, who played it cool, but was totally shook, asking if Jin Yong was seriously firing him. Dude prob forgot since he was bedridden, ages and out of the loop. Hearing that, Jin Yong didn't explain, just threw a massive punch. No one had a clue, so the hit landed hard, literally wrecking the room. Wu Yang, who tried to look chill but was freaking out. The security boss knew the young master was clueless about the vibe. Truth is, Wang, who basically owned the Yona group now, yesterday, leaving Dad's room, Hua Yang was there. He asked why bro was crashing the big meeting since they were just merchants and the Wang clan was way off. Jin Yong paused and asked his bro if he knew the cost of dissing Master Jin. Make dumb assumptions and you get eaten alive. Jin Yong said to check the Yanga group's status. They were literally getting taken over. Right now, totally under their noses. Wang thought about it and admitted bro was right. He hadn't realized the UN clan had infested their squad so bad. Seeing his bro panic, Jin Yang said, chill, big bro's got this. Wan was so stoked to hear that. Hope so, he said, confident. Now, at the meet, he watched his bro handle the Wang clan. Clan reps jumped up and grabbed their swords. Jin Yan's crazy acting freaked him out. Unhu figured the troublemaker finally snapped and went psycho. But then, Han Yap jumped in the middle. Drawing his blade, he told them to back off drawing on the young master. No way. Plus, a bunch of guards circled Ginnan, showing everyone he was protected. Jinan sided with the deputy, cause pulling swords in his own crib was super rude. Who points blades at the boss? Did they forget who pays them? Ginyon asked the Wang clan reps. Straight up, if they had a death wish? Jin Yong said he felt bad for Wang Hu, so he'd let this slide. Hu asked what the young master felt guilty for. He said sorry for wrecking their retirement plans. Jin Yong said Dr. Meng was meant to off him during treatment per orders. Plus, turning the brothers against each other was key. Drama makes it easy. Thanks to that mess, the big boss, Li Xiongmen, got totally wrecked and stuck in bed. Snagging just one son would have done the trick. He could have snatched the Yanga group effortlessly, playing them like toys. Who cracked up, cutting him off. Bruh, your imagination is wild. Jinyon didn't stop there. Too bad, Dr. Mayon, my would-be killer, yeah, I deleted him. That specific moment, that's when the Wang clan's luck flipped. The leader squinted, getting super suspicious cause he realized the kid wasn't bluffing. No way, Doctor. Meng got taken out by this rookie. Don't cry for him, Jinyong smirked. I dropped him with one hit. You want a massive trading empire? Gotta try harder than that, dude. Now the kid was gonna sue for payback on all the wrecked stuff. Who realized it wasn't a joke, but he couldn't chill anymore. He'd heard enough, and his rage just exploded. He leaped up, powering up his energy for a nasty smash. Jin Yang, totally chill. He blocked just in time, and their fists collided hard. The hit was massive. Everyone covered up to dodge the blast. Who gasped? Whoa. Lightning energy. Did this loser actually learn how to fight? They both landed, ready for round two. The Wang clan guys were shook. The young master can scrap. He actually blocked the captain's hit. Bad move, Jin Yong said. I just got out of rehab, man. But hey, he was willing to let it slide. This was basically an official duel. Now anyway, Who was fuming? He thought the kid was all ego, just a noob trying to fly. Who yelled that his guards and clan peeps would back him up. Young Master Jin Yong agrees. It's an official showdown. Who thought that was enough? But Jin pushed it. Make sure they know it's a death match. Who realized the kid Mustav trained somewhere fancy because Jin Yong got pretty good in practically no time. But who knew the kid was a noob? Time to teach him a lesson. Who launched an attack, but the kid just sidestepped like it wasn't even hard for him. Jin Yong laughed. Talking about experience is dumb. Live 200 more years, then talk. He slammed a counter. Who went flying through the air, totally helpless. He looked exactly like a tossed rag. The guy knew he was facing hacks, but he couldn't do diddly squat about it. Since you're ready, Jin smirked. I'll show you the skill gap between us. Jin triggered his God-tier movement skill, glitching from point A to B. Instantly, he zoomed at his enemy and threw hands. Who knew he had to sweat for real now, barely getting his blade up in time. Even though Who blocked the spam attacks, he was struggling big time. The dude started to get that this was a boss fight, but the vibes were kinda sus. This kid wasn't moving like a total noob on his first day. He was playing like a pro on a Smurf account. Who had to dump his whole kit since his basic attacks weren't doing zip. The clan squad watched the 1v1, hyping themselves up that Who was gonna clap the young master. Who screamed no shot, I lose, and activated his three-form sword. No way was he gonna take an L from a mid-tier player like Jin. But the kid parried instantly, making that attack totally useless. Who couldn't even figure out when this boy got so cracked at the game. Just then, Jin charged up a crit, hitting his fist, ready to clap back. The punch was up, smacking Who right in the jaw. Dude had 0 frames to block and got yeeted backward. Game over. Everyone agreed it was a clean win, no cheats. But now the clan goons might beg for a run back. Jin shut him down. The Yongha group belongs to my plus, the guards and workers actually grinding for it, he said. Jin's first shift was crazy busy. Tons to do, and he wanted to scope out the meta himself. Jin hung with the vice cap all day long. They toured every spot. Jin felt his sidekick was clinging like a debuff. Hanya didn't get the hustle. Jin had been grinding since dawn with 0 food breaks. Jin instantly saw the massive skill gap between the workers. Just walking the yard, he saw the clan reps chilling like NPCs on break mode. While some folks had 0 time to snack because of the workload, others were just vibing on the clock. Living life on easy mode, probably because they were mooching off. Others, the corp needed to ban these slackers ASAP. Jin was super salty seeing that unfair mess. Not even realizing he was death. Jin knew this was going to be a glitch in the system. To keep the sales team up, he had to swap the off-guards for real players. To scout new talent, the kid hit up the local party spots. There were definitely tons of potential. Staff just chilling, drinking, playing tiles, and some tourists clocked the new guy, since he was that famous wimp, the rich kid from Yanha group. Jin strolled down the hall, skipping the booze orders. Didn't look like he planned to party hard either. They knew him but thought he'd ghosted ages ago. Everyone wondered how much cash this loaded dude would blow today. One area was roped off with a keep out sign. Jin walked up to the guard like, "Sup?" Guard knew him. "Whoa, haven't seen you in forever." But he was hyped, expecting a fat tip from the kid. Jin snapped, "Don't touch me, and I'll squeeze your lard into wheel grease." Then he ordered the door opened. Pigface tried to block him, but yeah, total fail. Jin walked right in. Toxic Fox Ho spotted the guest instantly. Said he looked lit. Rahab Mustav worked wonders. 2 brothers, Yuk Jim and Yuk Shung, were chilling there. They clocked him too, and said hey. The trio acted all hyped that their sick pal was back, but didn't even ask how are ya. Total fake vibes. Fox told the brothers to show some respect, since a VIP guest just graced them with a visit. I mean, Jin and Ho were childhood besties, right? If friendship means bullying and stealing cash, Jin got that the word friend is kinda twisted now. Like definitions have changed for Gen Z. Ho figured his pal wanted to rage after being gone. Gotta make up for lost time being sick and all. Actually, Fox just wanted to party on someone else's dime, so he claimed he wanted to throw a bash for Jin's comeback. Big surprise. Ready? Jin stayed quiet. Fox got salty about the silence. Jin kept quiet, then dropped a truth bomb. Totally off-brand for him. Shook us. Ex-buddy hard. Jin debated. Unalive Ho now. Or let him breathe. Honestly, he had 0 use for that toxic Fox. But he totally needed those obedient twin minions. Those bouncers do whatever Ho says. Total loyalist. Plus, they're buff, chill, and super loyal. Jin thought they were too good for a loser, like Ho. Jin finally spoke up. I've decided. He reached out. Gimme the safe key. Bruh. Mungho totally played dumb, acting like he had 0 clue what the vibe was cause it sounded nuts. He figured maybe Jin was just broke or something. Jin was straight up like, yeah, I need cash, so I'm taking the whole stash. When they showed him the loot, the dude immediately started tallying it up. He dumped tons of coin into this shady casino. Plus, interest, shakedown fees, and the hospital tab from getting jumped here. Jin announced that 100,000 yen seemed like fair payback. Poisey and Fox just cracked up laughing, like it was the best joke he'd ever heard. Guess the kid practiced his math skills in rehab. He probably thought. Once he stopped giggling, Mungho bragged the safe held way more than 100,000. We're talking golden bling. Too bad. Literally 0% of it belonged to Jin Yang. So yeah, he wasn't gonna see a single dime of it. If Jin was that desperate, he should have just hit up his buddy for a loan. Fox grabbed his shoulder, all confused, asking why he was suddenly obsessing over the safe key. I mean, Jin had been totally ghosting his bestie. Mungho forever, which is super rude for a so-called friend. Before, Jin acted like a total wimp because he was sick, so everyone treated him like trash. Now he waltzes in demanding keys and give in the cold shoulder. The nerve? Mungho kept yelling, getting louder, convinced Jin needed to get a grip and remember he was messing with the great Fox kept running his mouth, totally oblivious to the vibe shift. Like, maybe the kid just had a sudden death wish. Right then and there, but Jin just stood there. Maybe the cat got his tongue or something? Mungho told his goons to tackle the loser and smack him around for kicks. The Yuk brothers were absolutely stoked to jump in and obey. They grabbed Jin, ready to throw down, but he just looked up and started talking. Turns out, he was actually going easy on Mungho. Jin grabbed one bro and shoved him off like he was nothing. Mungho's eyes practically popped out of his skull. Then Jin tossed a massive guard like he was spiking a volleyball. Jimbo went airborne, smashing into the wall and wrecking the furniture. Mungho flipped his lid and tried to get revenge for his boy. He swung at Jin, but the kid ducked, leaving him punching air. A split second later, Jin clapped back with a nasty kick. It wasn't just hard, it snapped the guard's leg, making him scream like a banshee. Jin checked out the room and was actually kinda shocked by what he saw. Both twins popped right back up, even though they were totally wrecked. Broken wrists, busted ankles didn't matter. They were still ready to brawl. Even with all that pain, there wasn't a single stretch of fear in their eyes, which was pretty impressive. Jin decided right then he needed tough guys like that on his squad. The Yuck brothers teamed up, raising their fists and charging at him at the exact same time. But before they could even land a hit, Jin straight up vanished, leaving the twins totally baffled. Wait, where'd he go? Did he just glitch out of existence? Nope, Jin just hit the turbo button and teleported right behind them. He grabbed their collars like they were stuffed toys, gripped totally ironclad. Jin was grinning like he just won the lottery. Why let these beefcakes waste away with that loser hoe? Total waste. Bonk. He smashed their noggins together, quick, loud, and out. The twins dropped like sacks of potatoes, totally out cold. Nap time for them. Jin wasn't gonna ask twice, or press replay. Mungho watched the whole beatdown, jaw practically hitting the floor. Jin smirked. Time to chat with his best. He was gonna enjoy this. It finally clicked for Ho. This wasn't a prank, he stuttered. Dude, you coulda said ... You were leveling up your kung fu, not hitting the math books. Spotting the blade, Jin laughed. Normally, you're sharp, fox ... But today, your brain's lagging big time. Hands chillin' behind his back. Jin walked up. Ho, panicked, begging for a timeout. Then Huh tried to play it cool, figuring maybe he was safe. Psych. He lunged with the knife, hoping for a lucky one-shot crit. He thought hiding under the table would save his skin. Cute, but the table exploded into confetti, and Jin's fist still found its target. Boop. Laughing at the wreckage, Jin quipped, "Counterattacks are meta, bro." The hits were so loud the chunky guard in the corner curled into a ball, terrified he was going to witness a murder. Ho wasn't lecturing anyone on cash flow anymore. He wasn't doing much of anything, honestly. Jin tossed the guy aside, finally, silent enough for a real talk. Jin waited for his ex-BFF to reboot and actually process the incoming data. Ho woke up groggy, total system error on where he was. He realized Jin hadn't just been napping during his sick leave. More, like he skipped the meds and went straight to hardcore grinding. All for that sweet, sweet payback. Ho frantically searched his memory. They were cool back then, right? Then he remembered all the times he roasted Jin and realized this beatdown was totally personal. Karma's a pain. Once he could talk without slurring, he snapped out of it and tried to bribe Jin with anything but the safe key. I'll do anything. Bro, name it. Let's not dwell on the past. Sure, I smacked you around a bit, but that's ancient history. We were childhood we were tight, remember? Jin nodded. Yeah, sure. Fox let out a breath he didn't know he held. Suddenly, he's yapping about brothers for life. An eternal cause apparently their bond is totally unbreakable. Myung-ho swore he's done trolling and hoped Jin was chill now. We're talking BFFs, here practically brothers from another mother. Myung-ho spun toward his twin. Goons, bow down to big bro and hype up his epic. Jin stayed. This sudden bro love speech had him shook. Myung-ho remembered how Jin used to simp hard, bootlicking like a lost puppy. The sneaky fox planned to grab his crew and dip. Fast figuring he'd find a new spot, easy with him. Jin faced the twin towers. He said, brother is a life contract. You guys are ready to sign in? Blood. The twins went mute, just eyeing their boss, praying for a cheat sheet answer. Finally, they shouted they were ride or die for life. Jin said everything was Gucci. Time to level up. Since we're fam, we gotta pick the alpha dog. Jin told the twins to bounce. Just him and Myung-ho left to settle the pecking order. Foxboy was not vibing with this plot twist, but the muscle bailed, leaving the frenemies solo. Let's make this quick, Jin said. Myung-ho was clueless. Jin flashed a creepy smile. Time to clear the air. Noted Fox played those gullible noobs well, but that game is over. I'll handle the lessons, Jin said, cracking his knuckles. Myung-ho knew was cooked, so he told Jin, just take the loot. Total nightmare. He got wrecked, and now he's losing his minions. Only one conclusion. He's totally dead meat. Jin might as well delete him. Jin didn't wait for an invite boot to the jaw. Jin knew this guy grinded hard scamming him. Time for his permanent nap. A combo of hits rained down on his face. Realization hit. Jin wasn't bluffing. He's actually ending him. Yep, game over. Barrel I live, he wheezed. Take it all. Just stop. Jin needed the volume turned up, so Myung-ho screamed he'd hand over the safe key, basically begging for a break. Jin was like, bro, that tone, not gonna save your life. But Fox tried the whole thought we were homies act. Then Fox got tossed across the room like a rat. He was literally glitchy, like H-H-H-H. Finally realized it was listen to Jin or die trying. The Yak twins stared at their ex-boss, totally confused. Like, did he actually lose? Is this real life? Fox sighed. I lost, Jins, your new big bro. Be good, minions. Fox just laid there, totally wrecked, crying on the floor. Major L, for his ego. Seeing him so pathetic, the twins made a call. Better to crash at the fancy guild than this dump, they figured. They're stubborn meatheads, but not actually evil. They had history. Can't just delete that bond? So they gave their old boss a polite thanks for everything. Took a hot minute for Fox to reboot his brain. He dragged himself out, thinking, old guys were right, ... Never mess with the black-haired dude. Note taken. Fox limped through the main casino hall. Crowd was whispering. Barely recognized the beat-up guy. Wait, where did his twin bodyguards go? No twins. Perfect time for payback on this jerk. Without his meat shields, someone blocked Fox's path. Just a massive shoulder? Fox paused. Look at the rats crawling out now that I'm hurt. But he's still the poison fox, not some new. You want a piece of me? Come get it. Everyone froze. Guy's a zombie, but still talking trash. A few dudes pulled knives, ready to throw down. Swords out. It was revenge o'clock. Fox realized, these guys might actually delete me. Wishing Jin hadn't drained his HP so low right now. Suddenly, a fist flew past his face. Boom. The attackers and their toys went flying. Then a voice boomed out. You cowards were too scared before. Now you gang up? It was Jin. He wasn't having it. Wanna fight? Wait till he Don't be cheap. Jin told the twins. Go loot his room. Grab the good stuff. Fox was relieved he wasn't dead. ... But totally cringed that Jin was playing hero. So he just ghosted without saying a word. Later, Jin left with the twins hauling loot like pack mules. One of the brothers started. He spun around, actually thanking Jin for saving his hide. Jin blinked, realizing these beefy twins weren't total zombies after all. Checking out the brothers. He finally got it in. Every other gambler who wondered why they trailed Mungho like puppies. Rumor had it the Yuck brothers were sold off as slaves or just scared stiff of their boss. Jin bought that tea too, until he really looked at Jinbo and But nah, he realized the twins weren't property, and they definitely weren't acting out of fear. He sighed. Even with a second shot at life, people were still a total mystery. While Jin and the squad were packing up, a creeper lurked nearby, trying way too hard to stay invisible. Dude hugged a pillar, squinting to check if that was actually Jin, looking jacked, confident, and unfairly handsome with his crew. The Yanja fam got new recruits, and they were absolute units compared to the regulars. Jay stomped through the base, looking big mad. He was totally over it. Ever since Big Bro came back, peace was officially dead. Just yesterday, Jin dragged in a cash pile and 2 muscle mountains. Jin told the siblings they could use the twins, but to watch their step. Now Jay spotted something weird. Again, a guard rolled into the courtyard steering a 2-horse cart. The thing was stacked high with boxers and random loot. YN was yelling to handle with care since the stash was precious. As the logistics boss, YN managed every single delivery that came through. Jay sprinted over, dying to know what the fuss was about. He popped a lid and gasped. These were those ancient elixirs folks had been camping out for since sunrise. Just then, Dad shows up with his posse, claiming he ordered the whole lot. One freaked out, telling Pops he was too frail to be roaming around outside. But Lee Shanmin was like, chill, I'm feeling great. Jay asked his dad what the plan was for all that magic juice. Jin only asked for one, but Dad bought the whole store. Jay figured he'd score at least 1 bottle. Spoiler, he was wrong. Turns out, every single drop was for his big brother. Jay lost it. He snapped at his dad, asking why Jin got absolutely everything. Dad didn't blink. He said, yup, that's right, because 1 potion wasn't enough to save the whole clan's future. Compared to the cash blown on Yuang's crew and that lame god, this was cheap. Pops told the boys he'd already DM'd the branch bosses, his old pals, and heavy hitter merchants, saying the Leaf clan was buying epic meds to save the biz. If the Yanga group tanked, everybody's wallets would bleed. So, yeah, they took Mr. Lee super seriously. Plus, he felt guilty since hiring Wong, who was his brilliant idea. The guard who was moving boxers said, solid move, boss, added that the young master was going to be a total beast. Now, Lee thanked the deputy for having his back. Gaiwa slot you, chief? We're gonna make it. Mr. Lee was hyped that his eldest kid was finally ripped. Perfect chance to turn this sinking ship around. He checked the loot. That just arrived. Looking good. Decided it was finally time to spend that cash with Lee. For once, Yayoung was still losing his mind. He blocked Dad's path. Yo, what about me? Where's my potion? Dad eyed his younger son. Honest, you don't need it, kid. Yayoung saw. Red. He snapped, drew his sword, and slashed everything in sight. Sick of hearing Jin Yong everywhere while he got squat. He threw a massive tantrum, ready to bawl and rip his hair out. Everyone is bullying me, He didn't get how his lame big bro suddenly turned into a total chat. But then, a noise. Something caught his ear. Big bro was zooming straight at him. Jin Young shoved people aside. Make way. Just taking a stroll. Move it. He barreled through, dragging a giant boulder tied to his belt like it was nothing. Okay? Stroll was a stretch. Jin Young was sprinting with a rock, dripping sweat, zero chill. Gillian watched and thought, about time he actually put in some work. Being born first isn't a skill. Bro wiped out. Yayoung flopped in the yard and started thinking how to stop being the family NPC. He brainstormed, hard-nixing the dumb ideas. Finally, got a plan. Started grinding in the courtyard ASAP. All day, all night. Beating up a wooden dummy, pretending it was Wong Hu. He hyped himself up, shoutcasting his own fight with the stick. Boom, close the gap, smash him right in the jaw. Then things got messy. That poor wooden dummy was getting totally wrecked. Jian quit, yelling he didn't get that jerk at all. Jin walked up, asking which jerk he meant this time. But the kid froze, too spooked to even answer. Jaeyoung was confused. Bro's back already. How? Jin just said he was already done training. Want to move right? Do it proper, or don't bother. Jin tossed him a wooden sword and told him to show his skills. Your copycat moves ain't bad. Jaeyoung realized bro had been watching for a while. The kid felt super cringe. But hey, couldn't look any lamer than before, so he started wailing on that dummy again. Jin tried to be nice. Good stance, messy stab. Jaeyoung didn't exactly love the roast. Dude just wanted compliments, obviously. He was gonna sass back when fist in face. Jaeyoung kept cool, blocking the punch with his sword. Trick failed. Now you're stuck defending, Jin said. Jaeyoung scrambled away fast. Yellin'? Let's just talk. No fighting. Jin knew he wasn't listening. Sword up again. Brain off. Speed on. Jaeyoung charged his bro. But he rushed the spot, and bro was totally gone. Poof. Vanished. Jin was way faster. Like, cheat code fast. He appeared behind him. Cornered rats do dumb stuff. Jaeyoung spun around. Shook that his bro was literally right there. Make them show their secret moves. Jin lectured. Now bro was ready to smack his head if he didn't take this seriously. Jaeyoung gulped. Real fight. He'd be dead. Stabs missed more than slashes, Jin added. Plus, that three-form sword art, super risky. If the other guy is faster right, then ... It's in quotes. Game over for you. Jin demoed it right there. Jin thought, if I had my old stats back ... Enemies wouldn't even unholster in time, but this be not even a quarter of his prime. So, beating Wang Hu, hardly a flex. But he couldn't forget one thing. Even in his past life, tons of guys beat him. Even his Fist King, gotta stay humble. Jin Yang knew he had to level up, like, way past his noob days. A servant killed his vibe, saying some guest was waiting for the boss. Jin, still looking, super deep and moody, said he'd be right there. He walked over to check the scrape on his bro's forehead. Zero pity, though he slapped him till the kid cried again. Savage, guess that's just how brothers show tough love, right? Meanwhile, a bunch of dudes were yelling inside the house. One guy told the rest to quit yapping crazy talk, cause everyone knew Jin couldn't throw a punch to save his life. Dude was legendary for chasing skirts and getting wasted. That's it. Now, he's a martial artist. Yeah, right? Nobody's buying that. Ju from the Yun clan swore he saw it while stumbling home drunk. He spotted Jin and the twin guards hauling loot to the trading guild on a cart. The guy bossing the twins around sounded way too familiar. When the dude turned around, it was totally Jin Yang. But he zoomed off before Jiyu could say hi. Jaeyoung and Simo stopped arguing. They came to snoop, anyway. Plus, they needed to see for themselves if the gossip was actually real or just trash. Was it really him? They walked in and saw Jin looking epic. They ran straight to the maid. Asked if that beast was actually their young master and boss. Did he adopt a buff kid? Nope. She said it was totally Mr. Jin Yang. They figured they were tripping from last night's booze. Had to be the hangover. This was just too weird. That ripped, perfect athlete used to be the town's top playboy. Jin suited up after his workout and went to meet the guys. He told staff to feed the twins. Those kids eat like tanks. The maid nodded happily and dragged the hungry twins off to eat. Jin finally turned to face his old crew. Why were they just chilling outside? The boys were scared to enter. Would the new buff Jin beat them up? They were the kings of wine and girls. Sima wanted a clan invite. Yayoung had bad guts and failed every exam he ever took. Ju Yun, heir to the West, Win Security Agency, led this squad of hopeless flirts and They all linked up when they heard the wild rumor that their favorite loser pal was back in town. Dead silence at the table, just awkward chewing and staring. Jin wasn't exactly dying to be BFFs with them again. He remembered all the dumb stuff they used to get up to. Just hanging out, yapping about booze and chicks 24/7. The crew dubbed themselves the Four Wasted Morons. Or something. Zhang finally spoke up, saying they rushed over cause he was back. Jakama was like, dude, you're glowing, way hotter than before. But he had this super serious, intense vibe going on. Guang was shook. No way, this jacked beast is actually our boy. Did he just train 24/7 or what? Guok knew that bod wasn't just from push-up. Something was up. Jinyong confessed. It was all cause of his new kung fu moves. The gang already heard the tea about Imrek and Wang, who, they demanded to know his sensei, cause self-teaching that is impossible. Jinyong said he just got lucky, but the squad figured it was some epic anime plot twist. He stayed quiet, letting them make up their own wild theories. Jia Yang asked what his next move was. Jinyong's like, gotta settle some scores first. Till then, he'd help his dad's biz and get ready for action. Right now, he's obsessed with getting swole and powerful. The crew was totally confused about his major Maybe they got the wrong addy, cause this change was insane. Gagwook flashed back to when his bro said that he was bouncing to go heal up somewhere. TBH, he got banished, cause he totally let his dad down. Gook had hyped him up, telling Jin to go reinvent himself. Jin agreed it'd be awesome to morph into a totally new guy. Now Gook was grinning, seeing his bud actually pulled a complete 180 transformation. The squad agreed this level up needed a massive party. Guang voted to kidnap Jinyan. Before work, dragged him off. Gok wasn't kidding. Dude loved getting trashed and ghosting. Even though Gujun always claims he has big business, he's really just chugging drinks. Jinan heard their banter and realized these guys were legit. He told the gang, yeah, I've changed a ton. But what about y'all? Anything new with you guys? They joked. If we changed, we wouldn't be us. Same old dude. So they just dropped the deep talk to party for the reunion. They used to feel like clueless noobs stuck in a bubble. But since one escaped, maybe the rest could level up too. Their bromance totally made the night epic, and everyone had a blast. Leavin', they told Jinan. Holler, if you need us, keep grinding. Still, they were hyped for Jinyan turning his life around. Crazy. The biggest loser of the group came back a grown man. Felt like playtime was over, and they had to get serious. Hayok felt the vibes were super off today. Total sad boy energy, so they had to bounce fast. The squad headed out, planning to go home and actually study for once. But they smelled something yummy and stopped for one last drink. Yeah! Inside the sweet-smelling joint, a Wong clan dude was yapping away. Yongji, the big boss of the small deity sect, sang Rage Twing who was toast, like, is that Yona Air really op enough to wreck a pro? Turns out Jinyong clapped him in under 30 hits. Guards rushed to their boss, but he was already gone. They had to admit that enemy was cracked at fighting. Shang was shook and asked what weapon he used. You won't believe it. A pro swordsman got folded by a kid throwing bare hands. Massive L for him. Some guy asked the leader how they'd get payback. Janone said nah, it was a fair fight. No revenge. We aren't thugs, we're legit warriors. The Wong dude started whining about friendship and not letting it slide. He kept yapping about honor and stuff. That's when Janone snapped. He sliced the guy to shut him up. Savage move. What friendship? Your buddy died like a loser anyway. Zhang told the help to clean up the mess. Then he hugged his girl, who was covered in blood and totally traumatized. Yumgi Song tried to chill, but the vibe was killed. Booze didn't help, so he bailed. Staff said Yanha ghosted on taxes. Plus, that Wang, who he had to figure out what to do since things were getting spicy. No taxes meant Yanga group was dissing his sect. He had to handle this. The goon wondered, is Juong gonna wipe out the whole leaf? But the boss was like, we can't just murder everyone. We aren't bandits. Duh. The goon thought he'd let the Lee family slide. Suddenly, Jinyong's crew walked in. They knew they were flops since they hadn't leveled up like their friend. Even if they claimed they'd only have one glass. Baby steps. They wanted to glow up just like their bro. Then Sim Guok walked past Young Zhang in the hall. Zhang was like, honestly, I just want that Yona group cat. Gook heard every word. He spun around and eavesdropped on the stranger. Jian was like, yo, old man Lee. Total negotiating, shark, loaded, be wild too. See the price tag on a rich kid air like that. Way past curfew, someone bugged opened up and his buddy was back, sprinting like a maniac. See Magaok, right there on the welcome mat. Dude was wheezing hard, must have legged it the whole way there. Jin was all, bro, you ran here. I'm literally crying tears right now. Sima gasped out that the dudes at the joint looked ready to jump their pal. Situation, garbage. With Wang who gone, the crib's totally undefended. We need backup, like yesterday. Small deity sect wants to wreck the Angha crew. Jinin brainstormed. Gotta figure out the best move for the asked his pal. So, where's Yamji Singh hanging? Figured the guy was probably chillin' at home. Jinyul dragged him in. I got a crazy idea. Hit the stash room. Tossed him a raincoat, suit up, fast. Jin Yang bet, anything go. Knew where those sect creeps were hiding out. Gotta speedrun this so we're back for cereal time. Gook panicked. It's 2 against a whole army. Dude, serious? Just us. Right now. Jin Yang didn't care about their deal. Just strike first. Mask on, cloak on, drive, now, no whining. Jin Yan was super hyped, ignoring all the "we're gonna die" logic. Sect base actually looked kinda cute. Pink petals everywhere. Cherry blossoms popping off. Vibe. Yard packed with goons. Yup, this is the spot. Guk was so not down for this mess, claiming he'd be zero help in a brawl. Jinyan was cool. You did your part, man. Just needed a ride. But Guok worried his pal would croak. Guards everywhere. Stealth seemed impossible. Need a galaxy brain move? Jin Yong thought hard. Then Jin Yong told his buddy. Get nostalgic and smash the front gate. Since he was a kid, Don Woong never flinched. Even back in the orphanage days, he was tough. Roamed the lands as a teen punk, too. Even as king, still threw hands, constantly. Gate smashed, Jin Yong strutted in. Guards stared. Anywhere, anytime. Dan Wuing loved to scrap. Strolled in and asked, "Yo, where's the boss?" The guard was totally losing his cool. Some wacko just broke in and started yapping total nonsense. Poor guy got zero time to react before snap, neck broken single-handedly. The stranger was like, "Don't make me repeat myself." The squad was shook by this dude's guts at first. But then they dogpiled the guy who clearly picked the wrong house. All that noise kicked up a huge fuss in the Yarav, finally, waking up the big boss. Dude stepped onto the balcony asking what the drama was about. Yawang spotted the intruder, squeezing his girl, asking, "Who's this guy?" Jin Yan goes, "Name's Killer. You, the boss of the minor deity sect?" The owner said yup, but looked pretty freaked out. He'd never seen an assassin just waltz through the front door. Jian peeped the stranger's hands in the light and saw his fingers were totally busted. Clicked instantly. He heard rumors about a Bernacle brawler earlier. Yang hollered at the stranger, betting he was the rich kid from the Yona Trade Guild. He didn't say it out loud, but figured in this mess, he wouldn't hold back and would milk the chance. Suddenly, he yelled at the guards to grab the guy. But the kid was fast, launching himself sky high instantly. Been ages since he fought a whole mob at once? Last time was literally the day he died. He grabbed a guard's hair, spun him like a toy, and bowled over the squad. The kid felt amazing, getting right into the swing of it, realizing he hadn't had this much fun in forever. His body wasn't at peak power yet, but he could still throw down. The guards were totally shook and freaking out. They watched this weaponless dude absolutely wreck their buddies. Blood everywhere, straight up, nightmare fuel. They couldn't figure out what kind of beast was dismantling the crew. Suddenly, a sword popped up right in his face. He dodged last second, just getting a tiny scratch on his cheek. Jin figured the guy was just flexing his gear. It was Yang, who usually hates wasting pricey weapons, but for such a VIP guest, he'd make a special exception. Now he was gripping a wicked-looking crossbow. Jin tensed up big time. Guards grabbed his legs, pinning him so the boss could take the shot. If this kept up, he was seriously toast. Yang knew he was dealing with a super tough opponent and wanted to see how this mess would end. All the guards aimed crossbows, pretty much impossible to dodge. Order was fire, and a rain of arrows poured down on him. Jinyan clocked it fast. This dude fights dirty. Even his own crew was getting wrecked. Total trash move, even for then screeched, "Yo, heads up." A blade zipped right to his palm. Jinyan sliced through the goons, grabbing his ankles and swatted the arrows away. Yan was shook. Kid blocked steel with a basic knife. Coastclear Jinyan gave his buddy a thumbs up. Sima grinned, feeling pretty clutch. Jinyan wasn't wasting time. Here, chucked the blade at the boss on the balcony. Dude dodged, but the steel still grazed his neck. "I prefer fists, but for you, special delivery." Had to cheat since the guy was hiding up high? Yan panicked big time. This kid wasn't just strong, he was totally unhinged. He screamed at his lackeys, "Shoot him, you morons!" Jinyan wasn't gonna chill there and turn into a pincushion. He launched himself up, face to face with Yang. "Like I said, I'm a hand specialist." Fist cocked, Cower grabbed his girl as a meat shield instantly. Jinyan had to punch the building, instead smashing a massive hole in the wall. She fainted, but our hero caught her mid-fall. Holding the girl, he glared at the main baddie. Yang wasn't laughing anymore. Who is this kid? A Lee family kid should be like normal weak. But Jinyan was definitely built different. His moves were on a whole other level. Zero rookie vibes here. Dude fought like a pro. Jinyan stepped up. "Yeah, cat, got your tongue." Yan panicked. "Wait, I've got cash. Stacks of it. I'll pay you whatever. Just don't kill me." Jinyan's reply, a swift boot to the face. He loomed over the knocked out. "Loser, you think lives have a price tag?" Fist raised. "I don't need your dirty money. Keep the change." He grabbed the guy's skull. 2 fingers. Quick tap, lights out. Game over. From his spot, Gaok couldn't see the finale. Sun was barely up when the trio headed back to the Lee crib. Go-ok played gentleman walking her home, while Jinan dipped to handle the next mess. They dapped up and split to do their own things. Suddenly, the girl hollered, asking if he was really He tossed the mask like, how'd you guess? The beauty said she'd spotted him heaps of times. At the aroma house, plus, she knew he was tight with Jin. Then she dropped a serious bow to thank her hero, swearing she'd buy him top-shelf wine next time. Gok puffed up, vibing with the praise. But he played it cool, said he didn't do much. Besides, Jin Yan wasn't into those sketchy spots anymore. She agreed the Jinan had totally flipped his script. Go-ok realized he needed a glow-up too. Since his BFF leveled up, Go-ok didn't want to lose their bond. A super tasty, healthy brekkie was waiting when Dinan got back to the crib. He sat with the twin servants, telling them to chow down no shame. Jinyan also told the brothers they could eat literally whenever hunger hit. Best rule ever. The brothers were down to eat 7 times a day. Janine smashed his breakfast too, and confirmed the Yuck brothers could snack 24/7. They clocked a cut on the boss's cheek. Yo, what happened? Was the night crazy? Jinan shrugged. Nah, nothing major. Even though the ambush totally jumped him, Guy admitted that crossbow bolt threw him off for a sec. In his past life, no chance that slides? To lead the guild and fight demons, Jin Yant's gotta get way more jacked. The dude knew that. Simple workouts weren't gonna cut it anymore. Just then, a servant yelled, delivery for the boss. Jin wasn't expecting loot, so he was shook. The guy brought a box and a rag bundle. Jin ripped the box open first. Found a letter from his homie Gu Yan inside. Said he hit a bar but only had 1 drink. Huge progress. Jin grinned reading the wholesome note. Actually, Gujin stopped by to drop off what Dad ordered, but the dude got distracted and forgot the gift. So now Goon mailed the box Dad sent, full of colorful ginseng roots. With these, Jinyang's gonna swallow enough to protect his whole crew. Jinyang grabbed a root. Whoa! Looks 500 years old. If lucky, he'll hit the 5th phase of the White Lightning art. Seriously, real friends are the best. Then he checked the red cloth bundle the servant brought. Inside, a note from the Taiho Trading Group. For Li Zhanmin, thanking him for the trust and long friendship. Taiho Group was straight up bawling in the Central Plains. Liongmen hit him up directly. Jinan was shook, didn't know. Pops rolled like that. Dude cracked the box. And boom. Azurite essence. Total jackpot. Basically, the holy grail for any martial arts nerd out there. Only legit moonflowers, or those 1,000-year-old snow ginsengs can compete. And finding those, good luck. Top tier juice confirmed. He popped the lid and took a massive whiff. Turned to the twins like, yo, listen up. Big news, dropping. Tossed him, each a root he'd scored as a freebie, and said, I'm going full Zen mode, starting the energy cycle now. Their job? Guard the door, ghost everyone, and eat the roots. Once he bailed, Mongbo-eyed the root. Like, brah, what is this? He had to spell it out. Eat it. It's basically a super buff. Worth a ton of cash, so don't go losing it. Okay, Jimbo's like, cool, but the guild boss Lee's dad got a whole stash of these specifically for his golden boy. Jinan blinked. Yep, money is practically a cheat code. 2 hours deep into his energy grind session. Sat pretzel style in his room, locked in and hyped. The stuff tasted nasty, 0 flavor, all yuck. Just like training, a total pain in the butt, and boring. Then he started roasting, getting hotter by the second. A few months back, this heat would have totally wrecked him. Warm and fuzzy turned into I am literally on fire. Pain. Try to fight it. Joke's on you. It just hurts way more. Right when he thought he'd die, the pain just tapped out. Finally, the energy cycle wrapped up. Game over. Brain cleared up. Boom it. Phase 5 of White Lightning. Still kinda salty about his own body though, cause he was sweating out that booze he chugged earlier. But soon, gone. The old, lame canceled. Decided it was time to pop the big boy the essence. Started absorbing that Azurite stuff and felt the remix happening. Like wet clay getting chucked straight into a maxed out kill. With that much heat, he was seconds away from cracking. But if he didn't explode, he'd come out totally up. Could literally feel the Azurite energy trolling him. Okay, maybe he got a little too greedy with the power, but he sucked it up to unlock those sweet new stats. Figured if he survived the cringe feels, he'd be a beast. 7 days flew by just like that. Since he started chugging the elixir and Roots Pops prep, Juan was camped out behind his bro's locked door. Been hours since the energy vibe started. Still, radio silence. The twins stepped up to say, sup to Huayun, the admin guy. Totem boss said, no entry. Like, absolutely 0 visitors. Bummer, they wouldn't even let his bro inside. Then bam, a massive explosion rocks the room. A blinding white flash lit up the whole place. Major energy vibes just poured out of nowhere. The twins played human shields for the boss man. Door gets nuked to boom on inside. Everyone spots this creepy dude's silhouette. It was Jinyan, but looking totally demonic. Huang's confused why his bro looks so sketchy. Guards are shook. Plus, it started smelling super funky. Maybe he's sweating out the toxins. They couldn't wait and dashed in to help Jin. Jin's face, bro freaks out trying to wake him. Slowly, the dude starts dragging himself up. The brothers ask if he's actually alive. He ignores him, stands up, and goes to hot. Need a solo walk to cool down. Jin ditched the crib in 2 jumps. Nobody could catch him. Huang's like, it's freezing outside. Despite the chill, Jin kept parkering over roofs. He felt like a walking volcano. He ghosted the town, zooming past trees and dirt. Realized his new body couldn't handle the juice. He was literally quaking, about to explode. Zero control, just sprinting blind. Knew if he hung around the city, he'd accidentally roast the whole village and crib to ashes. So he kept booking it. Felt the need to social distance, far away. Hit the mountains, and stopped at some crater. Couldn't run more. The battery was leaking. Landed right where King Don Wang got wrecked. If he can't tank the energy, gotta vent it. Looked absolutely terrifying from afar. Locals thought it was straight up doomsday. Clueless folks. Swore lightning was spamming that one spot. Fireworks, stop, and there's a fried dude standing there. Checked himself hit, level 7 lightning power. The guy knew he was packing serious heat now, but he'd max out soon. Only 10 levels total. Feels like he's already grinding level 8. Then, the sky opens up. Pouring rain. City folks with umbrellas stare at the shirtless weirdo. Jin realized he needed fresh threads, mostly so locals wouldn't stare like he had 3 heads. Hit the closest shop and totally leveled up his style game. Now, total knockout. Jin rocked the fit and asked to damage, but the clerk refused his cash. The guy insisted it was on the house. Since the Wang clan bosses got wrecked, the street thugs had vanished. The clerk confessed he could finally bring his kids to work without panicking. Just his way of giving Jin props. Plus, since it was pouring, the guy's daughters gifted him an umbrella. Jin realized you gotta know how to take stuff, not just dish it out, so he accepted happily. Under a big red brolly, Jin headed back out. He noticed the city vibe was way more chill now. Not that he ever gave a toss about the scenery before. Remembering the clerk's words, it clicked that he'd done a solid for the whole hood, not just his own crew. Folks weren't scared to walk their tots anymore. Felt pretty sweet, knowing random strangers appreciated him. Totally addictive feeling, honestly. Suddenly, some loudmouth yelled at everyone to clear the road. Jin glanced back to see a mob chasing some dude, trying to cut off his escape. Jin clocked the runner. It was his old pal Mungho spotted his buddy, and skidded to a halt beside him, laughing about how it had been ages, and this was hilarious. Jin eyed the angry mob, and quipped that Mungho kept life interesting. Meanwhile, the Mon clan estate was dead silent. Big boss meeting going down in the main hall. The donkey in chief welcomed the elders. Glad they finally linked up. He gave props to Mo Yanben for hosting the ship. Everyone there had heard the tea about the Wang clan leader's bad day. Wang, who fought a merchant and got clapped in public. A Wang clan rep had to admit it was true to the whole squad. Shocker, since Wang, who was supposed to be a top-tier pro, word was he started drama at the guild and got wrecked for it. All this gossip made one guy crack up. He literally couldn't hold it in. The Imperial Assembly boss, the strongest blade master alive, Nam Gongwu, just lost it. No way a merchant beat a master. The vibes in the room weren't exactly joyous, mostly because one of their buddies had literally kicked the bucket. And honestly, the joke wasn't even that funny. So, a clan rep stood up, cleared his throat, and mentioned Wang, who was basically trash to them now. But while chilling at this meeting, hearing all the giggles, Yunsun hatched a little plan to pitch to the squad. He figured it was high time they taught that rich merchant brat who's boss around here. Meanwhile, Jin Yang was hanging downtown with his boy Mung. One of the stalkers chasing Mungho got all up in their faces, demanding they cough up the traitor and mind their own beeswax, unless they wanted to beat. Jin Yang, totally confused, poked his buddy to ask who these weirdos were. He whispered that these dudes were currently the most infamous baddies in the underworld, straight from the Crimson Reaper Alliance. These creeps had everyone shaking in their boots and were trying to hijack the city center. Mungho admitted he used to be deep in the auction game until he checked the books and saw these punks were robbing him blind. Jin Yang soaked up the drama. Casually asked how his buddy's paws were holding up. The guy said they were mostly cool and functional, even if they were still twitching a bit. Jin Yang turned to the goons, noting they looked like tourists, so he'd spell it out for them. Jin Yang told the thugs to come back and play once Mungo's hands were 100% healed. But for today, beat it. That cracked the bandits up big time. They figured this random dude was spouting total gibberish. Like he was some feral jungle kid who didn't know who he was messing with or the danger he was in. The gang wanted to trash talk back, but they suddenly felt this creepy vibe coming off the guy. Jin Yang just stood there under his umbrella, chill as ice, making the air heavy and suffocating. The thugs realized this rookie, begging for a beat down and apparently wanted a one-way ticket to the afterlife. Like, Now, one goon stepped up, ready to teach this kid a lesson, since he clearly thought he was some kind of deity. However, he didn't get a word out before Jin Yang barely tapped his forehead with a single finger, yetting the dude across the square until he face-planted into a wall. The rest of the crew was totally shook, having zero clue how to handle what just went down. Jin Yang told them he was starving, meaning if they fought now, he'd definitely end them all out of hunger. So while he was feeling generous, he suggested they take a rain check. The dudes caught on quick and decided they didn't want that smoke. They bowed their heads, real respectful like, and dipped. Jin Yang squeezed his buddy, announcing his stomach was empty and expecting a free meal. Manhwa mentioned that the day Jin beat him to a pulp, he nearly croaked. Not from the punches, but because he'd been starving for ages. He seriously needed grub and a doctor. Basically, the boys agreed that tasty food is priority number one. Instead of yapping about nonsense, it's better to just order lunch. So we crashed this noodle joint, famous for their insane bowls. Dude inhaled his grub, screaming, "I feel alive again." Real talk though, what the heck happened to Jin? Before ate like a bird, now total vacuum cleaner mode. That's just glitchy behavior. Stick to the script, man. Anyway, they shouted for 4 more mega bowls. "Yo, how's the twins?" Jin, stuffing his face, mumbled, "All good, grinding hard." Ho figured those brothers must have leveled up by now. Bet their grocery bill is nuts since they eat like monsters. Jin kept chewing, flexed, "I'm loaded, bro." Plates just kept stacking up. Ho asked, "Where'd you learn to fight like that?" He seriously needed the deets, because right now, he's facing the Reapers and needs skills to stay alive. That Reaper dude led the crew they beefed with earlier. Guy had an army of goons, and every ... bite was like kicking a hornet's nest. He figured he's toast. Then Jin goes, "Wanna learn from me?" Ho lit up, "Bro, that'd be a lifesaver." "Jin, you gonna do exactly what I say?" Fox nodded fast. "Anything, man. He's not called Poison Fox because he's stupid." Jin pointed down. "On your knees, Bo. Talk about a cringe fest." Ho hesitated, scratching his head, but Haser Viba wins. Ignoring the weird looks from the crowd. He dropped and bowed like a total servant. He got up. "If you don't teach me now, I'm taking a leak on the Yona front door." Jin snatched a nearby umbrella and held it high. "Swear, loyalty to this umbrella," he yelled. That just made Ho totally furious. He already now he was ready to storm off. Before he could talk, whack umbrella to the dome. "Zip it," Jin said, gripping the brolly. "This was a legit gift from some via. Can't keep it, but I'll loan it. Swing it like me, 100,000 times. Do it fast or no training for you." Ho blinked. "How many?" "Yeah, 100,000, no joke." Jin sighed. "You're yapping too much. Can't handle it. Drop it and scram." Jin reached out to grab the brolly, but Manhwa wasn't letting this chance slide that easy. Jin scruffed his buddy, yanked him close, and gave him the death stare. "Your baby tricks won't kill anyone, bro." He roasted him. "But swing that umbrella, like 100,000 times, you'd wreck half these dudes with a stick." So, did Manhwa go beast mode on the bandits? Nope. Ran away like a soggy, scared rat. Classic. If you're gonna live that lame fox, just game over now. Manhwa stammered. He wanted to live, realizing things were getting real. Jin sighed. "If you're a rat, stay in the gutter. If you're the poisonous fox, quit yapping and bite." His pal sat zip-lipped, watching the rain bucket down outside. Seemed he finally had a brainwave. Weighed his odds, and asked to borrow the umbrella. Snagging it, the fox dipped from the noodle shop. The waitress slides up to Jin. "You covering the bill for both?" Jin paid without blinking, wondering if that idiot Manhwa would finally man up. He recalled how the guy daydreamed about clapping the Crimson Reaper with some martial arts magic. Hilarious. Considering he fights like a wet noodle, Jin's mind drifted to the Reaper Alliance, cause he'd promised to hunt A promise is a promise. So he had to be ready to throw hands. Meanwhile, the goons reported back to the big bad Reaper. Dude literally ripped a messenger in half. Bare hands. Yep. He couldn't grasp why his minions let the fox slip. "We almost had him," they cried. "But Fox's friend jumped us." Claimed some merchant family kids soloed the whole squad. Terrified, the servants swore it was no cap. That stranger was cracked at fighting, totally up. Plus, rumor said the Reaper was the server's top player. The Reaper soaked all this tea in. Raging, he ordered a manhunt. Find Fox and Jin. Delete them both. Jin blinked. He ripped a guy apart. With hands? But word on the street was the Crimson Reaper was so toxic he loved shredding foes manually. Every rival boss got clapped by him personally. His faction had already gobbled up a bunch of local clans. Yukon's guild was huge. The whole map paid him taxes. No exceptions. Everyone pays up. Clubs, merchants, hotels, shady rumor was even hijacked the auction house last night. Gaio is a legitimate psycho menace. Jin admitted this. Info was kinda sketch. If Reaper doxed him, his whole merchant family would be cooked. Jin figured he should scope, place out solo, and see what was up. That night, he hit the Yukuan district. The club was totally popping. Soldiers were everywhere, trying to score dates. The boss lady sent a girl to check an empty VIP room. Suddenly, a scream hit, and everyone rushed to a girl who looked totally wrecked. Turns out, she was with the Crimson Reaper, and it got messy. Another chick was stuck inside. The manager spotted a fresh face downstairs. She told staff to help the girl chill and keep it down for Reaper. Ms. Changhua went down to check the new guy. She said hey, gave her name, and claimed the place. But bro wasn't interested in the girls. He straight up asked if Reaper was in the house. Hua freaked at the name, but he doubled down on finding him. Her panic cooled, asking if he had a meeting with the big boss. It was like nah, but told her to spill if Reaper was actually inside. She admitted the guy was there. Jin headed up, whispering to clear the girls out ASAP. Hua realized Swa was still stuck with Reaper. The boss warned him the leader had zero chill. Jin said he was. Kulin totally had this handled. He hit the stairs until a bouncer blocked him, banning randoms. Jin kept walking, ghosting the guard. Guard poked a spear. Big mistake. Jin yeeted him to the ground floor. The noise alerted the other gang goons. They ran out flexing weapons, claiming he was clueless. Jin stayed totally zen. He asked where their dumb leader, Reaper, was hiding. The dude, stunned by the sass, rushed him. Jin saw he'd find the boss anyway. Dropping guards, he snagged his scarf, needing it real quick. He dodged every hit and clapped back hard. He swiped a massive sharp metal mace. Then he went beast mode, tossing dudes while checking rooms. Jin wiped the floor with them, aiming for the boss. He spun around, asking, do I gotta smash every room, or will you punks spill the boss's location? Jin moved like a blur, speedrunning the hallway. His mace was basically an insta-kill button for crowds. Guards, deleted. Walls, Swiss cheese. Total renovation, complete. He cleared the floor like a pro gamer. No Reaper boss here, so he zoomed up to wreck the next level. Meanwhile, the Crimson Reaper was chilling in his PJs, ready to nap. BAM. Door flies open, bringing a launching guard with it. Dude barely gasped. Merchant kids here. Before passing out, Jin steps into the doorway. Found ya? Big guy. The Crimson Reaper was actually kinda curious about the ruckus downstairs. Here to pay debt, he asked. Jin ignored him, checking the floor count. Jin figured 5 floors was way too high. Below, a total mess of unconscious goons. Reaper hopped off the bed. Enjoy the warm-up party. Stairs didn't wind you. I hope, Jin shrugged. Barely broke a sweat. Smashing faces was actually the fun part. Reaper stepped up. I specialize in looking down on scrubs like you. Dude was huge, ripped, and practically glowing with energy. Like a supermodel villain, total bad boy aesthetic. Jin just cracked his knuckles. Those minions were just a warm-up for my fists. Now, I'm finally ready to go hard. Reaper smirked. I'm too strong. Broke a girl earlier by accident. Jin realized this guy was total trash. No saving him. Gloves off. So, how do you want to die? Reaper laughed. Love the scary eyes? Kid. But everyone who tries to kill me looks like that. And I ripped them all apart. You're next on the menu. Outside, girls were screaming and sprinting away, fleeing the club like it was on fire. Total chaos. Crowd was like, who's wrecking the club? Some maniac? Some random guy didn't even see it coming. When Umbrella Dude spawned right behind him. Better scoot, the stranger whispered. Flack. Umbrella hit. 2,870. It was Mungho, crushing enemies one by one. A few more bodies hit the floor. He knew once he hit his high score of smash, he'd leave a massive trail of wrecked bad guys. Another umbrella bonk, then kaboom. An explosion distracted him. Mungho looked up, confused. What the heck? He wondered, pausing his umbrella beat. Right then, dude was shit. 'Cause Reaper got yeeted from the 5th floor window. Then, Bandage Hands dived out right after him. Bam! They both smashed into the street, sending asphalt flying everywhere. Reaper stood in the wrecked road, grinning. Fun? He smirked at his foe. His goons lined up, and the boss grabbed a nasty spiked ball to fight with. He spun it and charged. But Jin dodged a sneak attack just in time. Jin snatched the chain midair, stopping the hit cold. Grip tight. The kid yanked Reaper closer. The baddie dug his heels into the dirt, shocked a merchant's kid was this buff. Knowing he couldn't hang on, Reaper dropped it and rushed him. Going full aggro, Reaper cocked his fist back. Knowing blocking was a no-go. Jin mocked him, saying they'd already done the hammer. Now it's time for meteor fists. Jin noticed the bad guy actually had skills. Looked like a real master trained him, but that's useless against Jin. He is the fist king. After all, ducking the hit, Jin slammed a punch into Reaper's gut. Dude let out a scream. It hurt so bad he folded like a lawn chair. Now Reaper knew who he was fighting. This kid was pro. Time to get serious. No mercy. Solid XP grind for him. Reaper stood up tall and swore he'd rip Jin apart. but Jin just grabbed the throat and started choking the life out of him. Then, keeping his grip tight, he tossed him up and slammed him into the dirt. Reaper wasn't dead, but he knew he was screwed. Went full try-hard and still ended up floored. Jin loomed over him. How's the view from down there? He jammed a knee into the guy's neck. Try treating people like humans. Maybe, then I wouldn't be this mad and snapping on you. He palmed the guy's face. Ready to feel exactly how ticked off I am? Jin told the Crimson Reaper. Phase 2 starts. Right now, a massive zap of white lightning rattled the bad guy's bones. Felt like kissing a power outlet while the voltage spiked up. The Crimson Reaper crew saw their boss get deleted and froze. Help or not. But then, whoa, total distraction time. Lightning hit phase 10. Boom. Sky lit up. Jin, fully buffed, ready to nuke his foe, looked totally nuts from the outside. But folks saw where Reaper Dude just was. ... Now just a crispy, body-shaped burn mark. Jin stood over the ash. Trash. Handled. Jin didn't get these goons. ... Stealing cash from chill workers? Why? Who gave these dummies the right to bully? Jin asked why they were griefing. He grilled the Reaper gang. They went silent, still shook from seeing their boss vaporized. Jin told him, you wanna flex? Try me, I'll roast you like I did him. The Crimson Reaper squad ... turned out to be total idiots. Mobbed him, thinking numbers equal to win. Word spread fast. Reaper's officially toast. Everyone hyped up the mystery heroes tag. Folks realized, no more taxes to thugs. Reaper's gone. Bandits next. Free life, baby. Then they got paranoid. Bet this new kid wants our cash too. Monk stepped up. Nah, he ain't like that. He's rich and chill. Zero worries, fam. Myungho kept swinging that umbrella like a boss. Town thought he was loco, but right then, Jin was gaming hard. Justice mode on. Ho called his bud, saving him from creeps. Jin said you can act totally different. Fight, or bail, like a soggy rat. Gotta light that justice, fire yourself. Everyone wants OP, stats, crazy power levels. Pick a lane, and grind for it. Ho chose not to rat. He's the poison fox. Kid rushed in, umbrella smacking baddies. Yanha Group's crib was chill and quiet. Juan bugged his bro about where he was. Jin showed up, bloody threads and face covered in gore. He joked, just went for a soda, barely back. Juan had questions, but seeing his bro drenched in blood froze his brain. Jin smirked. Chill out, bro. This red stuff isn't mine. Juan blinked. Guess those elixirs are seriously He needed a killer thank you gift for the folks who sent the juice. Brainstorming time. Tio's loot was epic. The payback had to match. Gifting folks who literally have everything. Total nightmare. 0 out of 10. Stumped M. Juan pitched ideas, but Jin shot every single one down. He wanted pricey and useful. Galaxy brain moment. Jin told his bro, yo, here's an idea. Let's start a massive trade squad. Juan's a boss, but trade alliance. That went totally over his head. Big shot groups sent potions, sure. But, ... so did little guys like Vesvint. Security. If we team up, we can give cover to everyone. That's a solid thank you, right? Juan frowned. Dude, that's way too extra. Jin shrugged. Okay, baby steps. Just Taiho and Vesvin for now. Can't pay back those epic vibes with just cash. Too valuable. They had to get creative with payment. The time to write the rulebook. Also, gotta figure out the squad's main vibe and goal. Jin couldn't shake the chat with that clothes seller who was hyped about the safer streets. Plus, folks asked him to guard them once he leveled up. Jin declared, mission is simple. Keep our shopkeepers breathing. Also, they absolutely need a super fast hotline or something. Instant replies only. Gotta squash drama and fix messes the second they pop up. But if a big group starts beef, we call in the fighting sex. Especially for those creeps wielding dark magic. If that goes down, Jin stepping in personally to wreck 'em. Sounds wild. I know, but those meds from Dad's pals were legit. Gave him insane power levels. Jin nodded. Yeah, the juice definitely worked. I'm buff. Juan was sold. Alright, let's build this alliance thing. Just needed a name, but their ideas were total cringe. So Jin told his bro, you figure out a cool name? Juan groaned. I'm already swamped since you took over. Bro, but honestly, that was awesome. More chaos usually means more cash for merchants. Knock knock, chat over. Weird news just walked in. A guard from the group rushed in, screaming. It was all over. Dude stood in the door, gasping for air like a dying fish. He couldn't even get the words out. Finally, the guard spilled. Lord Yu and his squad crashed the party. Juan was shaken, just annoyed at the drama. The crew gathered in the main hall of Yanha HQ. The big boss of Wong, Mr. Yu Yang Sin, popped up, uninvited. Awkward. Just remembering that fail made them rage. The guy told the trio they all had to jump Jin Yong. One win? Nah, not enough for the gram. Sen wanted the cocky brat to suffer, big time. Shin Sobek bragged. I don't need gear, just these hands, the boss's second kid. Yangming was also strictly catch these hands only. But the third bra, kinda nervous, so he brought a knife. Sure, their opponent was just some merchant's kid, but he already wrecked their pro big brother, Wang Hu. Mang figured the loser just had zero skills. Meng was super salty. Cut the chat, show me this Jin Yan guy now. The Yuck twins said hi and told them, the young boss wants them at the chill spot. He'll meet M after he finishes his snack. The guests were shook by the staff. Jin Yang walked out looking totally chill. He gave a lazy wave. Wrapping his hands, he goes, long trip, huh, you guys hungry? The trio did the polite bow thing and dropped names. Jin Yang nodded at the Wang. Boss, wow, the big cheese showed up. Why? Yusin played nice. Sorry to crash, just checking your skills. Jin Yong knew the deal. It was go time. He was down to brawl. How do you want to do this? Sen smirked. My boys just want a lesson. The rules, super basic. Ring out KO or wimp out. You lose. Jin Yang shrugged. Easy peasy. Less talking, more fighting, let's go. Second son, Wang Ming, stepped up first. Yusan watched waiting for the kid to cry for mommy. But Ming felt weird vibes. This didn't feel like some random shop kid. The aura, total pro warrior stuff. Scary. Ming thought, did he actually wreck my bro on purpose? Jin Yang asked, yo, where's your sword? None of your beeswax. He snapped. Bro went rogue mode, no brain cells, just vibes. Facts, didn't matter right now. Next, Sek, Wang got yeeted across the map by a single kick. Jin didn't even sweat. Total easy. Dude only stopped cause a stone wall smashed his face. Yuzan crushed his cup, raging hard. He was shook, felt like a straight up prank, unless Wang threw the match. That was wild. Jin shouted, who's next? Wang volunteered as tribute and told Mr. Shindu patch up his wrecked, bro. Wang stepped in, flexing, okay, you're good, so I'm going full try. Jin ignored the yapping, less talk, more hands. You pulled his sword and zoomed in, like glitch speed fast. Jin scanned the play, admitting that it was gutsy. The guy actually knew how to swing that thing. But Jin wasn't here to play games. He popped his white lightning buff and slapped the sword away, power level rising. He blocked everything, faster and faster. Only hit phase 3, and OP was already realizing he messed up. Jin unleashed the white lightning art. The boom was insanely loud and one hit and dude was floor game. Totally. Yeah, he wasn't respawning anytime soon. Shinsebek realized the third master just got clapped effortlessly. This merchant kid was actually built different. Ming, still floored, begged, can we maybe quit now? Losing a 3v1 would ruin their rep on social media. But Shin ghosted him and rushed the ring. No warning. He squared up, planning to not fail like his buddies. Shin admitted the guy was a boss-level master. But as a palm strike, he couldn't pass up this so he struck a pose, hoping Jin would actually engage. Jin checked him out. Finally, one who looks kinda competent. They clashed It actually looked like pro game. Trading hits, dodging counters, big brain plays. Shin noticed Jin wasn't even attacking. So was he just tanking everything? Whatever. Shin charged up his unblockable ult, a spinning wheel palm strike. Jin was loving the drama. He dodged. Not bad moves, bro, but way too wide. Two flex, he stayed put and just caught the ankle. Jin crushed the leg until a huge scream echoed. GGWP, Jin said to Mr. Shin. Then Jin slammed him into the dirt. Match over. Ming was salty. 3 L's in a row. Big yikes. Jin told the boss. Game over. Dude. But Mr. Wang looked ready to rage quit. Face totally red. Yusin was shook. How did this rich kid clap his team repeatedly? Dude was built different. Sending more goons wouldn't work. At this rate, their rep would be trash and everyone would clown on him. Had to fix it? Yusin was like, yo, Mr. Jin, let's touch grass. Take a walk. Chill City, bet your guild is plugs here. Yusan, quit stalling. Join the rulers, bro. Just you, not your whole squad. Sign up. And we got your guilds back. For big clans ran the show there. Rivals to the Miram Alliance. Legit power. Sin admitted since his minions were yappin', their street cred was tanking. They were new and obsessed with clout. Not Jin's fault, people talked, but he had to join to save their face. Not a big ask, right? Sneaky Sen wanted to recruit Lee and flex like he owned the kid. Jin was like, and if I say nope? Sen was confused. What? It's free real estate. Do the math. Money man. Jin didn't see the vibe. He was loaded already. Why be a grunt? Jin covered his ears. Fight me, or I'm dipping. Lame hang out, he said, walking off. Sen yelled, last chance. Kid. Translation, Demistally, wanna see his guild get deleted? He could make Jin public enemy number 1. Sen was basically saying, don't test me. Can you even stop this? Ready to fight the whole server? He got cut off. No more Jin speed blitzed him. Gripped his neck. How about, end you right here, then wipe your clan. Jin told him that he gonna dump all the drama on Wang Sen's oldest kid. Easy scapegoat. Bu Yang Sen clapped back, saying that was the rudest trash talk ever. Total lack of class. Boo! Yang Sen told him to zip it until he actually proved he wasn't weak sauce. Boom! Out of nowhere. Creepy green fog swallowed the squad. Sen's secret toad poison move, trained to wreck the 4 big bosses. Didn't matter how buff you were, this tox would totally end you. But whoops! The poison sizzled like a lightning bolt. It ate everything up, and suddenly, things got super messy. Jinan yeeted the guy and blocked that toxic mess instantly. Dude talked big game but was actually softer than a marshmallow. Prob caused white lightning art hit level 8 already. OP much. Yuzan was like, if you're gonna end me, just do it already. Wasting a boss makes you public enemy. Number 1. Bad rep Jono. Then, deal with the association. Since it's this deep, gotta see who takes the L. Jin Yan straight up said Wang was gonna flop hard cause the kid would make him regret that trash talk forever. Outback. The Yanha trade bosses and some helpers were patching up the 3 Wang clan reps. Rough day. They fixed the cuts and wrapped up the scrapes. First aid time. Gates flew open. Jinyan walked in, dragging the boss by his hair. Savage. The clan reps jumped up, totally shook and mad. Panic mode. The sons were confused how Mr. Lee could do their dad so dirty. Jinyong told them to zip it, or they'd get wrecked too. Boys were salty. Didn't even know if Pops was still breathing. Jinyong said the guy's alive for now. Then bounced, peace out. You asked the host if there was a legit reason for this drama. The kid just wanted the deets. Jinyong said the boss threatened to wreck the whole Yanga group and frame Jinyan for it all. Total setup. He said he'd go right to the rulers and snitch on everything. He told the guards to tag along and watch the show. Shinsobek stepped up and asked if Mr. Lee knew where the spot was, since they had no official crib. Turns out the 4 clans' cribs are the hangout spots. Moyen House was closest. Jin, Tola's guards and twin brothers to watch the Wang fam so they wouldn't act stupid. Huan got stuck with this mess and had to report to the Merm Alliance. Orders done. Jin Yan headed straight for the Mon clan's turf. He stared out the window, checking out the scenery. Pretty chill view. He'd been chilling in bars way too much lately. Yuzan was in the ride too, asking where they were headed. Dude claimed he was super parched and begged for water. Shinsobak didn't even twitch to get a drink for his boss. Cold. He figured Master Lee would totally shut that idea down. Jin glanced over. The boss is begging for water while his servant chills. Rude. What give? Turns out, these 3 dudes weren't real clan warriors. Actually, they were just hired guns looking for a payout. Suddenly, a crazy white flash lit up our ride from the inside. The help panicked, screaming about what the heck just happened. But Jin was like, we're good. Keep rolling. Totally Jin grilled the guy again. You hitman, who do you roll with? Shin fessed up. Yeah, we're part of the gold and silver crew. They have ranks, and Shin's rocking the silver badge himself. Jin pushed for the juicy details on how much cash the Wang boss dropped to hire them. Yusan kept his mouth shut until Jin threatened to chop off random body parts, finally making him spill. 800 yen for the hit. Jin double-checked with the killer. For real, that's the price. The hitman nodded, confirming that was absolutely the fee, claiming it was actually a sweeter deal than usual. But Jin laughed. That cash covers your funeral too. Genius. Once the job is done, you guys get taken out. Simple. Silencing you is easier than dealing with clan drama later. Jin broke it down. Your boss played you from the start. He wanted the job done without staining his own hands. Classic faction move. Shiny, outside. Absolute trash, inside. Basically, your lives are worth a measly 800 coins. Super cheap. Maybe train harder next time, so you're worth more. Then maybe you wouldn't be sold off like discount goods. Actually, scratch that. Killers for hire are straight up monsters. Jin didn't even want to guess the mess awaiting these guys. Traveling with them sucked, but hey, he had to deal with it. Before long, our ride rolled up to the Moyang crib. Jin stepped in, and the whole place instantly flipped out. Whispers everywhere. Seeing Wang Xin wrecked like that? Shocking. No one had a clue who was with him or what went down. Then the big boss showed up, asking what the deal was. Moyan Ben, the head honcho, looked totally freaked out. He was dying to know why Wang Sen looked so busted. Realizing they were strangers, Jin introduced himself. Who's this? Li Jin Young, Yona Guildmaster. He greeted the host coolly. He was kinda shook that Moyang Saku wasn't the boss here. Been asked why is a merchant dragging Wang Sen like a prisoner. Jin stepped up and laid out whole messy story, spilling every single juicy detail. Pointing at the 3 hitmen, he filled Bin in completely. Obviously, messing with a merchant guild is a major no. If word gets out, the Miram Alliance is gonna roast them. Mo Junbin wondered why young Lee was spilling all the tea to him. He figured Lee was scared stiff of payback and came clean to save his skin. But Jinan was like, nah, I'm doing this. So, ... People stop gossiping and get back to their boring lives. Ben got it. If someone threatened his fam, he'd totally end him too. But if that someone is Wang Sen, things get super awkward and messy. The whole Wang crew and alliance would be watching like hawks. Sen lost it, yelling, it's Ben's fault for roasting me. Like, no way he'd lose. ... To a shopkeeper kid. If y'all hadn't giggled at the meeting, Sen admitted he messed up, but blamed the peer pressure roasting. You guys started it? So now, ... fix my mess. If Ben helped crush Mr. Lee, the Wang squad would be his besties forever. Zero choice left. Ben was totally embarrassed in his own crib. So he smacked Sen himself and told guards, lock up and feed the hit. Then Ben had to say sorry to young Mr. Lee for being such a lame host. He admitted the club shouldn't keep leeches that hurt Lee's face. If young ... Master Lee was free, they should grab grub to squash the beef. So, the trip was actually a win-win situation. Ben watched the Sun chow down, wondering how a merchant kid beat a clan boss. Total mystery where this weirdo spawned from. Ben asked, so Lee, what's the game plan here? Lee said, I won't off him myself, but I'll play fair. Ben decided to toss Sen to the Merma Alliance. Better, the Wang clan hates them, not the boss's club. The club takes a hit. ... But honor is way more important. He was sure the other clan leaders would vibe with this. Jin Yong was cool with it, then asked, where's old boss, Mo Yanshu? Ben gave him a super sad puppy dog look. He realized young Mr. Lee was totally clueless about local news. Turns out his dad, Mr. Mo Yonu, ghosted everyone over a year ago. Crazy news that the big boss just vanished into thin air. Ben said they searched everywhere but found zilch. He feels useless. Jin Yan realized he got this body a year ago? Did both guys die then? Maybe. ... His soul did a switcheroo, and he's in a new body too. He asked, did your dad run into the demon crew before vanishing? Dude paused, brain buffering for a hot second, then dropped the truth. Not the shady mob, but the demon squad. Weird flex, cause those guys have been ghosting everyone for 20 years. If the demons actually went rogue, it wouldn't be this quiet. We're talking total chaos. Plus, super sus, they only hit Mo. Jin knew his buddy left those demons on read. They didn't just spawn in and jump him out of the blue. Jin wondered, could Mo actually solo a whole team of sword sweats? The son was like, tough fight, but dad wouldn't get clapped by some randoms. But if those dudes were tanky enough to bounce blades off their skin, total game changer. Jin had a flashback to his past life grind. Some enemies tanked level 9 lightning like it was nothing, which means they were definitely juicing on demon magic. Even for Jin, holding level 8 power would fry a normie. With Dan's stats, those sword guys should have been toast. It's glitchy. They weren't. They definitely had God mode toggled on. If they team up with magic users, we are absolutely cooked. The only ones who could stop them are basically OP players from beyond the sky. Also, super weird, the son found zero loot or clues while searching. Why hide? Probably plotting some epic evil quest. Back in the day, Sword Demon was hyped. They finally tracked down their target. And the prize, the Sword King himself. Sword Demon gave props to the boss and said, it's showtime. Both demons agreed. Let's go wreck the Sword King. Jin decided to crash at the Moang clan's pad. The boys vibed and tried to solve the mystery of Ma's vanishing act. Jin also wanted the tea on the other top-tier fighters. Mo Jun said he saw Emperor Blade recently. Dude's thriving. Yusen thought the kid was trolling. But honestly, it was Emperor Clink cracking up. Everyone else just looked around awkwardly. Big yikes energy. You probably felt cringe. But Clink, he couldn't care less. If he didn't like you, you were basically invisible to him. Sword God went AFK a year ago. Maxed out stats, nothing left to grind. Imperial Sword is roaming the map, with no base, so good luck finding him. He knows Mo is gone though. Sword King, semi-retired, schooling newbies. King of Fists, has zero chill. Even his dad couldn't handle the rage. Haven't heard a peep from him in ages? Probably scouting talent or smashing underworld creeps into dust. Mo Yun Bin was like, yeah, good luck befriending that guy. Jin asked, why is King Fist such a repellent loner? Ideally, he smacks cocky orthodox noobs for fun. Even demonic elders get absolutely wrecked if they bug him. Unorthodox guys, yeah, he crushes them on sight. Rich noble kids get slapped silly too, no mercy. So yeah guys, clearly, terrible at the friendship game. Ben didn't know him, but his dad was chill with the brawler. Dad's stories made Fist sound like a total lonely heart. Jin shrugged. Maybe he likes the solo vibe so. Then he swerved. Anyway, this grub is fire. Jin started bouncing, telling the host, got a jet. Yanhei's unguarded and needs me. Ben's like, nah, hit the alliance with me. Sounded dope. Next day, Clan Moen was packing up to roll out. Ben told young Master Lee to just spill the tea to the alliance. Fix this mess. Moy Squad was just getting back from a nearby gig, so carpooling to the alliance made sense. Been introduced by Akong, a dude wrapped like a mummy. Wong said Moy and crew is babysitting him personally. They'll trail behind and catch up later. Jin asked them to watch the Yanha shop while he's gone. Bin's like, chill, my fighters are already guarding it. Jin dapped up the leader and was like, you're a real one, bruh. Won't forget this. Jin figured those hired hitmen were gold-silver goons. He wanted the big bosses to find their base so he could crash the party. Basically, Jin admitted he had just pulled up yesterday looking for a fight. But Ben was chill and smart, so now they're cool. Ben appreciated the hype. Then Jin and Hanon zoomed off using speed hacks. Ben stood there thinking, dude really came solo to brawl. Lee Jinyan is definitely built different. 4 days later, they finally hit the spot. Han noticed Lee was super quiet, just like him. Days of travel and they barely spoke a word. Just stuff like, let's bounce, or break time. But then some nasty drama cut his thoughts short. Some Rondo El Bashektim mumbled my bad, revealing a gnarly scar. That mark, dead giveaway. It was the Alliance wanted this dude dead or alive. Top of the hit list. Woolen was from a sketchy clan. Total walking red flag. Han charged, but the crook clocked him instantly. Woolen shoved through the crowd and booked it. Han saw him making a massive scene. Zero stealth mode. Lately, the outcast crew was super salty at the Alliance. So, they started hunting down the members, but strolling mask-free, that's some wild confidence. Weird flex, right? Turns out, it was totally a trap for Han. These goons were missing hands. Guess they lost a bet with the boss? Suddenly, severe dans went flying. Miraculous that these guys were even still breathing. Han couldn't believe they'd waste lives on this trashy bait scheme. The thugs claimed hand shopping, the master's hobby, their gig, delivering Alliance heads. Then Jinen rolled up, sarcastically praising their fun hobby. The dudes spun around, totally caught off guard. Han was confused. How'd young Master Lee get here so fast? Jinin smirked, telling the goons he was a guy who loves smacking around losers like them. Back at HQ, everyone panicked because Jin just waltzed into the Alliance. No one got why he dipped, or why he'd demanded everyone just back off and let him vibe. Wong said bro went to spill the tea on the Wong clan drama. Security showed up because the Moyong clan asked nicely. Mungho was super salty, his buddy bailed, ignoring their super embarrassing pinky promise. He didn't want to brag about his 100,000 umbrella swings, but he'd sworn he would literally take a massive dump at the gate if Jin didn't reveal the next level. He squatted by the fence, ready to do the deed. Then he figured, nah, better to chase Jin and nag him. He yanked up his pants. Time to sprint to the Alliance. Didn't forget to snag his umbrella so his pal wouldn't think he was some gullible noob. He was the real poisonous leaf, ready to crash the party. He dashed off, continuing to swing that umbrella and count reps. The bandits looked back. They didn't think this kid was a threat, just wanted a low, thought he was a harmless puppy. Woolen said, not wasting time on this rondo, even if he looked cool. Jinin started roasting him, asking if he was rushing to the bathroom or just scared to scrap. Jinin, asked Han, green light to delete this guy. Han was like, he's on the hit list. Finish him. Han Yong Sadai'd his road trip buddy. Dude wasn't chilling. He was taping his fists like a pro. Plus, Mr. Gloom actually cracked a grin as he tightened the wraps. Super creepy vibe. The baddies, total scrubs, jumped in mid-prep. Rude they swords, yelling, guess who's getting deleted today? Jinin snagged all 3 blades. Mid-air barehanded. Total flex. Return to sender. He quipped, ready to throw them back. Woolen clocked that the whiff was on purpose. Jinyong wasn't trying to end the game just yet. He wanted the Tian Yulan was on the wanted list. Woolen played coy, scoffing, real men don't gossip, bro. Then bragged about a secret weapon, body part, weird flex. He dared his foe to bring the heat, charging in with a glowing, demonic palm strike. Jinyong shrugged, use that hand, I'll snap it off. It went down way faster than Jin expected. Blinkin' Wooin was sobbing on the asphalt. I quit. I'll turn myself in to the Alliance, just don't rip my arms off, please. Jin was confused. Why this sudden rage quit? Wooin admitted snitching would close his case fast. Since he had dirt on other wanted creeps, Jinin smacked him. The crook was baffled. Why hit me? I'm worth more to you breathing. Not with the Alliance, fam. Don't care if you surrender. Seconds later, the whole squad was toast. Game over. Jinin thought, oops, maybe I should have booked him. Han, watching from the nosebleeds, yelled, nah, better. He's gone. Don't sweat it. Fight over. Time to grub. They were starving. They hit a diner to stuff their faces and finally chill. Hankyuan was totally fanboying over Master Lee now. Zero doubts left. He'd heard the rich kid beat the Wong boss, but thought it was Cap since nobody knew Jin's name. Sounded fake, honestly. But seeing him fight, the guy is absolutely cracked. Han promised to hype up the kid's skills and keep the witnesses quiet. Figuring the vibe was right, he asked Anyol to join up. Pays trash and work sucks, but muscle is king there. Boss says skill beats pedigree. It's not who you are, it's what you got. With skills like his, Jin could big moves in the alliance. Plus, dude's tight with the assembly squad. Real talk, the Merm Alliance is a totally different beast. Sure, assembly cash is sweet, 4-0 sweat, but it's strictly for no randoms allowed. Big fams push their own. The rest just chase the bag. When hands get thrown, they split, like ... dry leaves. Hence Han's invite to Jin bet not every assembly dude was total trash. Just then, a random voice goes, straight facts. Forest dude steps up, calling Merm a hater club. He told Han to quit talking smack, ... and chill with the insults. Calling the assembly trash leaves is wild. Han stood bowed, said my bad, then asked, who did the rondo ... said he's autumn leaves. Last name. Jin told his bro to ignore M since he apologized. Han guessed they came for the upcoming DNP fight. Jin was clueless. ... and tuned in to Han's spill about it. Said young Lee, the hammer guy, was totally in. Huge event. All of Min is glued to it. Mad XP and a shot at major clout. Jin was like, nah, that ain't real fame. Real rep comes naturally when you get buff. Prize was a top-tier potion. Jin instantly yelled, I'm in. Then he ... DIDN single. Quotes, T chill. Hong stood up to dip. Dude spun around. You ain't headed to hater H ... but the Turtle Club, seeing how slow you look, Han ghosted the rich snob. Oh ... told Jin, let's jet to Merm fast. Jin nodded. They popped their ... speed hacks, ditching the nobles in the dust. Servants wind. Those punks are so rude. They kicked up dirt on purpose. Gross. Rich guy told his bae to chill and walk ... with the guards. Why he schooled those two on speed. Minions yelled, get M, while hacking up dust. Merm HQ sat on a ... high plateau over the sticks. Jin hit the gates first, smoking the other two. Han was like whoa, fast, until restaurant guys zoomed past. It turned into a total drag race. Fighting for silver was now personal. Han was sweating bullets, trying way too hard. They all crash-landed at the Alliance gates together. Hung Swa he clutched the win, even by a nose. Jin played ref to call dibs on second place. Lee didn't get the flex. Why show off like that? But then the big boss himself strolled out the front gate. He said the first guy here was the only real winner. Everyone bowed down to the big cheese Merm. The random racer guy introed himself as Hua In. He gave props to the Alliance head honcho. Eyes glued to Jin, that famous merchant kid. Hua sized him up too, since he knew this kid totally wrecked the Unclan. Boss Merm said hi, dropping his name. Yu Jong Han. Mr. Yu asked what the heck they were doing there. Probably here for that Dragon Phoenix tourney. He told Lee and Han to scoot to the main hall. Say what? Yunhua dipped, saying Kachaya at the tourney. Jin realized the choice wasn't even his. Totally forced into it. Rough way to make friends. Dude didn't know if he actually needed this drama. Boss pointed out, his guy was dead last in speed. Han was bummed. Losing before the boss. Total cringe. The big boss replied that Mr. Hua was just saving energy and scouting the comp. The Alliance boss figured Han just ran hard not to look bad. Jin Yan was of the same mind. Han turned tomato red. Super salty. But Jin chilled him out, claiming the other guy used Hex hiding his true power for the tourney. Totally standard. Han chilled out a bit. The leader tuned in close to their chatter. They hit the Merm Alliance's main hall shortly. The whole room bowed as Mr. Yust. The big cheese told everyone to get lost. He just wanted a private chat with Lee about Wong. Promised a verdict after seeing Lee's moves live. Room cleared out fast. And now? Jin stood before the boss, who waved him closer. Jin stepped up, thinking, been a while, huh? The Merm Alliance head honcho. Yu Chin-hun was basically a celebrity, runner-up only to the three gods. He bossed the good guys during the 5 tombs, crap against the demons. Dude literally guided the whole crew, gods and saint included. Total legend status, for real. Then he clocked Jin's super serious mug. Old man, you mentioned he sees stiff kid like Lee all the time, but he digs teens who keep their cool and act bold. Jin felt cringe and totally froze up. 0, comeback. Boss man chuckled, claiming smiles make folks way less ugly. You added he was low-key interested since Jin walked in. The big cheese guessed that our boy Lee was the Fist King's newbie heir. Jin didn't cap. Lita asked, how many moves did you learn? Jin stayed quiet. No tease. He was shook. How'd this guy know his biz? Mr. You said, you punch things and shoot lightning. Duh. Muram history has tons of zap-happy clans and squads. Some were sword nerds, others went magic, and plenty just raged, quit. But only one Enlightenment crew survived. The Fist King's bunch. Weird sect, though just one master, one student. That was exactly the brainpower you'd expect from the boss. Jin was impressed. Smart dude. So he confirmed what Mr. You guessed. Yeah, I'm the Fist King's heir. Boss said it was total destiny. They met. He knew instantly. Lightning users have this crazy vibe. Eyes, energy, voice, everything gets all electric. That's why the head honcho doesn't really remember the Fist King fondly. Guy wanted to be a solo, thunderbolt ripping the sky. Hard to be pals with that, so you stayed far away. Boz asked, how's the king? Been ghosting me for ages. The kid replied that the Fist King is like the old Moyan boss. Zero signal. He barely ever texts or writes. Lita nodded. Both are Mia. Total hermits. Now, you said he'd update the 3 gods and the saint. If top-tier masters start vanishing, one by one, the demons are back. We gotta level up, cause if another war happens, demons might win. Total, game over. Hong offered to guide them to the crash pad set up outside the Alliance base, but inside, someone was already chilling there. Zombie mode Myunko dragged himself in. Whoa, this crib is massive and bougie, he thought. Scouted it out myself. Told ya, I'm legit, didn't I? Fox already nailed the moves, hiked peaks, and surfed the seas. Jin was like, yo, anywhere decent to grind nearby? Hanyin grinned, got just the spot, bro. Next morning, the squad hit up this sick plateau by the falls. Totally gorge, private, chill, perfect for leveling up. Alliance dudes, hang here cause there's tons of room. Jin gave props to the guide for the sweet location drop. The guys bounced, planning to link up later. Names, Poison, Fox, soon, the whole alliance gonna know it. Once the squad cleared out, Mew just didn't get why Jin was grinding. Dude's already I mean, last time he literally threw lightning. Jin sighed, can't just spam white lightning forever. Mana's up, so I'm unlocking the ghost flower skill tree too. Myungho looked totally lost at what he just heard. From his bud, Jin waved it off. Forget it, brain hurt, just watch. Then Jin hopped, right, onto a rock smack in the middle of the river. Myungho felt judged. 0 out of 10. Did not like. Listen close, Jin yelled, only saying this once. White lightning is all about that DPS and heavy hits. But just smashing stuff won't beat the real bosses. Gotta counter and exploit glitches in their defense. Plus, you gotta be slick at redirecting their aggro. That's where the Phantom Flower style kicks in. It flips their moves back at M. Height or skill required. The ult move of Ghost Flower is this insane mechanic. Lets you move stuff without touching it, and bend weapon paths like a jet. Basically, you can yoink weapons straight from their grip. For brawlers like us, this tech is absolute meta. Not just cool mandatory if you want to survive the endgame. Myungo snorted. Sounds like a thief skill. Jin blinked, shook his head, and realized explaining the mechanics to this noob was useless. He just hoped Fox wasn't totally clueless too. Seemdo's 100,000 umbrella hits paid off. But Myungho flexed his guns. Feel nothing. Bruh, just gains. Just got swole arms now. Still didn't make him feel like a PvP pro though. He was salty. His pal didn't warn him about the grind difficulty. Jin knew he'd given his Jin saw potential in his ex-bestie, so he gave him a massive shot. Too bad most fighters totally flop when the pressure's on. Jin decided to level up the chaos, tossing the umbrella to Fox with a new mark. Jin told him that out of the gazillion downward slashes the dude threw, literally, only one wasn't total garbage. Jin teleported right in front of his buddy. Staring contest. Go. He explained that to block or parry without getting wrecked. He needs to pick the one lucky move out of 100,000 angles. Pick the wrong option. Game over. You're dead. Basically, the only hit that works is the one that actually works. The kid needs to scroll through every move inside his brain. It's gotta be the single fastest, sharpest slash he's ever thrown. When you're grinding XP, every fighter gotta grab skills, buff them, and chain him into a killer combo. And once a dude has unlocked all that, congrats, you just finished the tutorial. Then, the big bosses from every clan tweak and mod, those moves on loop until they're perfect. Boom. Sword art. But even maxing out the sword stats isn't enough. Using it totally different beast. Gotta grind real fights for instincts and watch your mouth, or you'll get deleted before you even level up. Mano was like, oh snap, I finally get it. He finally figured out why masters act so weird in training. They're all total psychos and Jin's the craziest one on the block. Jin told his buddy not to stress, cause he isn't teaching any big brain sword moves. Dude was confused. Wouldn't that stop his gains? Plenty of guys grinded fancy skills and got way stronger than men, but Jin believed joining a hype clan and learning famous moves wasn't the vibe. Mungo listened. to the lecture and realized he was totally lost. Jin said the key to being a warrior is way deeper. It all rides on just one thing: living life like you actually mean it and want to survive. Suddenly, the Alliance boss spawned on the hill to watch. He caught Jin preaching deep warrior strats to his friend. Han spotted the boss and started panicking an apology. He didn't know the big guy was training here, so he brought guests. The Alliance boss was totally chill about it. He wasn't training, he was just enjoying the free show. Jin didn't notice the audience show up and kept on explaining. Anyway, 9 out of 10 fighters rate the 9 strikes as top tier. Mago was like, "Dude, I've heard that name since I was in diapers." But Jin kept yapping, claiming there was a sword style even more opus than that. Enter the art of Jin Sohan, a guy totally obsessed with sharp, pointy things. Basically, nobody had ever heard of him. Jin said, "This guy went solo. T-Man told Ho, wanna get strong? Learn his backstory first." So, Jin, kid grew up with traveling performers and learned sword dancing before he could walk. It's this wild dance, where you use blades to slice people's clothes off. He practiced his moves with the older ladies who raised him. Who knows what was going through his brain? Probably nothing normal. Dude practiced for over 10 years, just so he wouldn't accidentally slice his family. He was a total loner orphan in this world. A guy who trained with a weapon just to avoid hurting anyone. Irony, much, but the second he picked up a real killing blade, everything clicked instantly. He outleveled the 9 strikes master and invented the sickest style in the land. Pretty epic tale, honestly. But did twirling around make him a beast? Heck no. Fancy moves in big-name clans? None of that junk matters. It's because he spent those 10 years dancing with a pure heart. That's the key. Your power level depends on how you choose to live. You're gonna be a basic rat or a deadly poisonous fox. Your call, that's the vibe. Chuliang-ho finally seemed to get the point. The kid passed the umbrella to his buddy, said he was ready to level up, just waiting for the boss's orders. Jinin asked, "No take?" The answer was a hard no. Janine grabbed the umbrella and busted out some moves, showing him how to swing it like a katana, not rain gear. Told the newbie, not 100,000 swings. This time, 1 million. Gotta grind that umbrella until you actually get good. The Alliance boss realized young Master Lee was actually cracked. The kid had totally nailed the 3 swords technique. Mr. Yu watched them train, feeling super jealous and nostalgic. He couldn't even remember the last time he chilled and trained a student. After all these years in the Alliance, poor Mr. Yu's squad vanished one by one. Even his sidekicks disappeared. Some got old, some got clapped. Now the boss just watches this random kid, wishing it was him. Huge in. Hong said catching this show by accident was awesome, and he needed to drop a serious gift in return. Jinyan was perched on a rock, trying hard to zen out. Nearby, Meng Ho was gasping for air, fighting the urge to twitch. Jinyan got in the zone, and pretty soon he was floating rocks with his mind, tossing them exactly where he wanted. The Alliance boss could have watched this grind for a long time, even with the rain suddenly pouring down. Then a voice popped up. Jinan spotted Mr. Yu and zoomed over, claiming he'd been swamped with training. Meng Ho sided the Alliance. Big cheese. Shocked, the dude was just a frail old geezer. Also, how did Jinyan even know this guy? Total mystery. Wang Ho did the polite bow thing and dropped his name. Gramps pointed at his face. "Yo, where'd you get that gnarly scar?" Looked like a sword hit. "Actually," he mumbled, "it's from a dagger." The boss wanted the tea, but the kid tried to dodge the subject. But the old guy kept pushing, guessing wild stuff. Was it an epic duel? Or a training upsie? Mo finally caved and spilled the beans. Said he used to run a bandit den and got into a scrap with a guy who wouldn't pay up. Dude straight up shanked his cheek with a dagger. Talk about a plot twist. Boss was shook. Jin Yan hanging with criminals? Big yikes. Meng Ho felt super cringe exposing his dark past to the whole squad. But honestly, he didn't want to fake some heroic story about duels or whatever. He was mortified. Couldn't tell if it was rain or tears dripping down his face. The leader was pretty chill though. He got the vibe and mentioned his own showed his hand and started story time. Dad owned a brewery. He'd haul booze to pubs, sometimes doing the delivery himself. One time, some drunks jumped him right in front of us. Back then, I was a total noob with swords. Just grabbed a stick and started swinging like a maniac. Luckily, those drunks were weak sauce, so I managed to chase them off with my club. Nobody died, just got floored. Dad tried to patch my bleeding hand. I was so pumped up on adrenaline, I didn't even notice I was leaking blood. Dad threw me on his back and bolted into the woods. It had been ages since he carried me like that. I saw his sleeve was ripped and totally drenched in sweat. While running, my hand kept rubbing that gross, sweaty fabric. The cut got super irritated. Yes, that's why the scar stayed forever. Soaked in my dad's blood and sweat. Gross, but meaningful. Every fighter here has baggage. It's not always pretty. Then he asked if that beat-up umbrella was Mungo's weapon. Kid admitted he borrowed it from his teach. Jin Yan Mr. You handed over his own umbrella, asking to borrow the kid's instead. He took it, feeling totally awestruck and nervous. That thing felt insanely heavy in his hands. Black iron umbrella. Rare loot from the Moyang clan for the Alliance. Crafted from black iron, this hefty beast was built for brawling. The dude could spam attacks all day and that brawly wouldn't crack. Snagging the loot, he thanked the boss, saying he never dreamt of such an epic honor. In reply, the chief told the kid to pick a path he wouldn't cringe at later. Mahio swore he'd totally stick to the plan. He paused, then declared he was solid on his choice, no regrets allowed. Yuja Hun grinned. He knew he'd done a solid deed for the day. The boss added, fixed pass fails to boost today, cause redemption arcs are always open. No need to roast yourself for history. The vibe really hit him in the feels. Thanking the top dog, he vowed to level up his character. Mr. Yum figured yapping with an old geezer was a drag, so he decided to bounce. The big boss told Jinin he was hyped to catch him at the Dragon and Phoenix showdown. Mr. Yum walked off, saying, fists or brawlies. Who cares? But they'll totally run into me again. Hopefully on the Orthodox squad's side. Yeah. The duo got super thoughtful once the leader dipped out. Jinyan suggested grub, but Mungho passed to grind some XP first. Mungho was losing it with hype because the boss personally gifted him gear. Now, the dude had to prove to the whole world and himself that he deserved this legendary loot. Honestly, you couldn't tell if he was sobbing or cracking up. A few days flew by, and the tourney eve finally dropped. Jin Yan hung out on the balcony, scoping the scene. The MC hit the ring, shouting that the participant lobby was already packed. Because of the crazy amount of sign-ups, they threw a pre-game bash for settling old grudges instantly. But that wasn't even the main kicker. If a fighter realized tonight he was basically trash, he wouldn't dare show his face at the main event tomorrow. Nobody wants scrubs dragging the matchas out till dusk, right? First time Jin had heard of this pre-show festival setup. Sounded kind of fun. Meanwhile, Mungho was chillin' in the mosh pit. Some Rondo turned to him, mentioning the kid bragged about his gear, so time to flex those umbrella skills. Jinyan heard his crew trolling and saying, those guys started the beef and were rushing him with weapons drawn, but the stranger squad just wouldn't chill out. They kept giggling about the brawly. Sure, it was totally useless in a fight. Mungho stood center stage, looking totally lost. Was the Muram Alliance actually banning combat umbrellas? Jin knew his pal hadn't changed a bit. Meanwhile, Mo bragged about his mystery he waved it around, hyped to spill the tea. Lifting the black iron gear, he introed himself. I swung a blade 100,000 times. Total pro. Everyone stared. This guy was bonkers. Kid-level drills. Big yikes. Ignore the weirdo. Maybe he'll hit puberty soon. A fighter stepped up, roasting his three-bull skills. He claimed the teacher was a total noob teaching basic thug moves. He kept trolling Mo, adding he didn't want to, but couldn't let a clown ruin the vibe. Mo didn't give a rip about the tourney, but never said no to a scrap. Challenge accepted. Weirdest fight ever loading. Jin worry. Mo versus random guy. Umbrella ready. Rules. First hit takes the W. Mo swung that brawly and leaped. The faux panic dude was fast. Umbrella in his grill, but the guy managed to dodge, leaving Mo faceplanting with his gear. Mo blamed the umbrella's length for the fail. The rival cracked up since Umbrella Kid couldn't even handle his toy. Cue the circus. Crowd was confused as Mo bailed. It was a super weird scene. The foe stood there, totally baffled. Technically, nobody won yet, since 0 hits landed, so the guy had to chase him down. It turned into a meme, just running in circles. Finally, Spear Guy tripped Mo, sending him down. The warrior rushed to crush a tiny dude just running laps around the ring forever. Guy steps up. Rats running, laps, get up so I can show you a real fight. Mo. He's like, bro, you swept my leg dirty, and now you want me up. Is this a prank? Seriously, how do I even win this? Things were getting straight up ridiculous. Then Spear Guy charged again for the kill. Mo caught the shaft and countered instantly. Sadly, the gap was too big. Another miss. The foe laughed, claiming Mo just guy hyped his swipe game. But now, total klutz. Everyone knew his thrusts would suck just as hard. But no clue how Umbrella Boy was going to keep going. Stranger shut up, hopped up, and swung for the fences. Hits kept coming. Crowd loved watching Mr. Big Mouth get wrecked. Mungho was barely vertical, looking toasted. Face bloody, he hid behind that brawly. The other dude stepped up and booted Mungho's skull. Forget fighting this. Straight up homicide territory. Jin Yang watched from above while Mungho blacked out. Seeing his pal witness this roast, he hated his loser past. Mustering every last vibe, he propped himself up on the handle, leaking red like a broken faucet. Enemy waited. This maniac just wouldn't stay down. Time to wrap it up. Stranger charged. Spear tip first. Was Mungho's existence gonna stay a joke? He hated his wasted years so bad now. So right there, he swore to flip the script entirely. Kid lifted the brolly and barely slipped the stab. Then, he thanked the guy for getting close enough to smack. Mungho smashed that iron canopy right on the dude's noggin. Crowd was totally lost again. Never nap on defense. That umbrella's got secret sauce. He crouched low, gasping for air against the handle. Enemy was floor art. Mungho pointed his weapon at the balcony. Right at Jin Yang? Thanks. You let me slide once. I'm gonna pay back. Your cool vibes and the lessons. For sure. No running away like a lame rat for me. I'm a toxic fox who settles debts. I won. Jin Yang grinned. He knew his read on the kid. Wasala gave him a shot to trust his own gut. Finally, the crowd woke up. They realized Umbrella Boy one shot at the other guy. Mungho wobbled over the body, calling him a scrub. Even though he was basically a zombie, trying to stay upright, no chill time allowed, someone yelled. Another dude hopped in, saying, luck ain't skill, bro. Mungho, the Nubian promised to humble him too. But these weirdos had zero chill. More kept jumping in, kept his poker face, but he was toast. No juice left. Suddenly, Tichin Yang spawned right beside him. Ninja moves. No one saw him slip into the ring. Jin Yan wanted a pre-fest warm-up. He was totally down to scrap with anyone bored before the big day. Post-brawl, the Hua clan hit him up for a late-night hang and drinks. He crept in and accidentally crashed into the hosts. She instantly made it clear. She hated his guts. Jin missed the rest because they got cut off. She was super salty for no reason. Jin figured she was nuts. Hu Yunwoo was loving the drama. He thanked Jin for coming and outed the noisy girl as his lil sis. She's a top player to win the Dragon and Phoenix tourney. Also, she's a total fraud. The hottie introduced herself as Hua Yunsol. They all chilled at one table to gossip before the big showdown. Jin had zero clue why she was even there. She clearly didn't care about her bro's stuff. Plus, this merchant's Kita total fake really bugged her. The siblings had this weird telepath bond, talking without speaking. Spooky. Woo! Suddenly spilled that yesterday, his sis admitted saw Master Lee fight and was totally so, she wanted to give him a keepsake. A little souvenir. Jin was confused. He hadn't done squat to earn that. Saul said it was a rare treasure from their clan's guard. She tossed him some not metal weapons, just basic leather knuckle protectors. She told him to take the swag as a peace offering. Jin said thanks, grabbed the gear, and promised not to waste. Things got way more chill after that. Vibe check passed. They asked if he knew the top dogs for tomorrow's tourney. Jin was clueless, and Wu thought that was lame. Dude was living under a rock. He told his sis to fill Jin in on the tea. She didn't want to, figuring her bro could do the talking, but he threatened to leak her embarrassing childhood stories. So, she caved. Lots of hype, but it's basically Mima Alliance versus Rulers Association. Mima is backing Jingyul from Hua Mountain and Limjarian from Udon. But who knows if they'll show. Hua Mountain is too risky, and Udon likes to stay out of drama. The rulers, though, they bag Du Han and Nam Gongwei. If those two clash, it's gonna be messy. Plot twist. They're love rivals. Both dudes are total simps for Pakurong, the South's hottest girl. If they clash in the finals, they're both gonna leave on straight. They're itching to crush each other just to show off for her. The name Pekryan totally rang a bell from his past life. Her dad was that Elder King Kalako owed a huge favor too. Flashbacks from way back when started hitting him, and he remembered this tiny kid who's now a total stunner. Major glow up. Now every rich clan heir is thirsty for her. Jin used to be like her uncle, now he's her age. Super awkward. Talk about some seriously weird vibes. Aside from the main players, Hu Yang W is also in the club. He's a wild card. Sis says he's never actually fought in public. Dude acts like literally everything is a total bore. Jin sensed this pretty boy had zero interest in throwing hands. Or maybe he's just so OP he doesn't even need to try. The guy definitely gave off some don't mess with me energy. Even without a reason to panic, Yuno kept spilling the tea and mentioned 2 more wild cards in this year's bracket. Total nobodies, but rumor has it they're actually cracked. One guy's hailing from the Hainan crew. The other mystery opponent, obviously young Mr. Li Ji. He blushed a bit, but loved that they saw him as a top-tier threat. Hua asked his guest if he was hyped for the big showdown. Jin strapped on the Hua clan's gift cards and dropped a bomb. Honestly, none of these other scrubs are even on my level. The Hua Sibs were totally shook by how cocky he sounded just now. Onwol snapped out of it and cracked up. Guess you don't plan to lose. Jin just chilled and sipped his drink like it was nothing. The host realized this kid was actually impossible to read or figure out. No clue on his skills, style, or hobbies. Yunwal sensed the dude didn't even care about his hot sister, like he was giving her absolute zero attention. Since he was busy vibing with his drink, Invel kept guessing until a light bulb went off in his head. Maybe Jin is just obsessed with his gains and leveling up. Jin adjusted the guard. This loot is epic. Thanks guys. Legit craft. The squad ended up having a pretty awesome night. They walked him out, said laters, and wished each other luck. The brother and sister stood there, looking super deep as they watched their guest bounce. He made a splash, but honestly, he's still a total mystery to them. Insal asked her, bro, so, what's the play for the tourney tomorrow? The guy looked dead serious. Bro finally met a worthy rival, but instead of actually chilling, he was already beefing over who'd win the trophy. Quian told sis he'd actually let Mr. Lee take the win. She realized her bro was obsessed, like, serious bromance vibes happening here. Wan Wall didn't spill his feelings, but his goofy grin screamed what he wouldn't say. Yunwol noticed their guest was super blunt, didn't even try to slide into the hottie's DM. Guess the dude isn't a player after all. Yunol Swarjin was just playing hard to get. She couldn't handle that. The rich boy had zero interest in her. Bro kept roasting her until she yelled, I don't need Mr. Lee. He told her to open her eyes and just live a little. She's gonna meet tons of rich kids, buff warriors, and shady clan heirs acting like total thug. Not every hero is cool, and not every villain is trash. She needs to use her brain, listen up, and pick a winner. That's the kind of guy she deserves to crush on. And his lecture? Just standard sibling teasing. Honestly, he hoped she wouldn't get all salty about it. Quinsal promised to actually take his advice this time. They kept gossiping, mentioning how cocky Jin didn't rate the top fighters. If those dudes heard that swords would be out instantly, it'd be a mess. They were cracking up until a scream cut the vibe. Some guy walked up, asking, mind saying that again? It was Dong Gohan, the Du clan's future big shot. Mad that a random dissed his crew, he demanded a name. Yunwal instantly told his sister to get inside, banning her from the drama. Dong stared her down hard. Totally obvious, he wanted to make a move on her. Inwell told his buddy to chill out, claiming it was just some random loudmouth yapping nonsense. Dong wasn't buying that excuse for a second. How dare a nobody call him, and Nam weak. He figured it was that rich kid, Lee, who just bounced. Said he saw him look like the Yanha heir or whatever, wondered what that dude was doing here right now. Bet Woon invited him personally, didn't he? Word is, his skills have seriously leveled up lately. Dong grilled Woon. So, who's actually stronger, me or him? Woon didn't want to answer and start a whole scene. He only said that Lee famously beats Sen. So, basically, don't sleep on the guy. Dong pointed a sword at his pal. Weird thing to say. Did Inwa seriously think that stuck-up shopboy could beat him? Youngville kept a straight face. Zero fear. He claimed Khan was the same old jerk and asked why the dude even showed up. Donko Khan sheathed his blade. Yo Inva, why aren't you fighting this year? Donko figured if Inval just clapped the merchant's son or Nam Gunwoo, the ruler's crew would take the dub. Inval knew the guy was playing him. Dude was totally clueless about the vibe. Yuno laughed right in the kid's face. Bro, just sign up and chill out. This year, neither the rulers nor the Murim squad is taking the trophy. Hinval gave a weird smirk without spilling the tea, and said, trust me, I'm the future brain of the Rulers Association. Donko was speechless at that flex, but asked if Hinval would put his money where his mouth is. Donko Han slapped down 10,000 coins, betting the winner would be from the big two alliances. Hunval read the room and said he bet 30,000 coins that some random outsider takes it all. Bet locked in. Their wallets were riding on tomorrow's drama. Now, Donko told him to kiss that cash goodbye now so it hurts less when he loses. Wah Inval just smirked. Good luck, pal. He knew he was right. Next day, it's showtime. The qualifiers kicked off. Fighters swarmed city center, signing up for the prelim brawls. Snag 3 name tokens, and you're in the main event. Liang rolled up to register. They asked for a name. He drew a blank, then realized nicknames were cool. No need to dox himself for the preliminary fights. He wanted Fisking, but felt that was too cringe. Since he wasn't at his past life level yet, Janae told them to write Fist Warrior on the tag. They jotted it down, said break a leg, and handed him the badge. Registration done. Jinin headed to the Rumble Zone. The vibe before the tourney was super intense. Stakes were huge. Everyone was thirsty for the win. Jin Yong scanned the crowd. Some dudes looked legit tough. These young masters had seriously buffed their internal energy lately, but having a full energy bar doesn't guarantee a win. Jin Yan strapped on his gloves. Time to prove a point. Energy isn't everything. He was going to test his physical stats this time around. He walked up and saw a ref snap a fighter's card in half. Ref was like, nope, you've got 0 skills and no guts for the main stage. Have some dignity, quit crying, and just bounce. Kid didn't get the DQ, but I won. One more shot. Ref wasn't having it. This is the Murim Alliance. Son, you're out. Ref called him out for beating a downed foe. Not very master-like behavior. Then, he flagged the medics to scrape the loser off the floor. Jin saw the guy had 0 chill. Orthodox schools can be just as annoying as the unorthodox ones. But hey, strict boomer judges keep the world spinning. Jin figured he couldn't totally hate the good guys. Spaced out, Jin lost track of the ref. Asked a random dude where the zebra went. Guy says, "Spot's open. Someone got hurt, get in there now." Jin stepped center stage, bowed, and gave a polite salute. Grumpy judge pops up, sees it, and goes, "Haven't seen manners like that in ages." Pops asked for his nameplate. Read the name, wished the fist fighter luck. Old guy had eagle eyes. Spotted Jin's gloves. "Haven't seen those in 50 years? Said they look like rare heavenly silkworm thread from the Beckley clan." Jin realized the gloves were epic loot. Yun Sol's gift wasn't junk. Anyway, enough chat fight time. Judge declared the match started and casually walked off. Foe says, "Nice gloves. You a puncher too. Should be a fun scrap." Guy barely finished speaking before Jin pounced. "Hope you're ready, buddy." Jin threw a job dude never saw it coming. One light tap and he's out cold on the mat. Ref sprinted back in, called it, "Winner fist Guy." Ref marveled at his aura. Chef's kiss. Next up, the Reaper of Life. Jumped in, hoping to qualify. Jinan ignored the dude completely. Total tunnel vision on the brawl. Mr. Reaper saw that hit and realized he was fighting a cracked weirdo. The guy knew he had to go big or go home, so he yeeted himself into the fray. Jinan shut that down. Flipped the script, stopping the strike cold. Jinan smirked, "Save your mana. Bro, it's just a stick." Bam, his fist was already kissing the guy's nose. Kid thought saving energy would save his skin. Spoiler alert. Zero chance of that. The crowd went wild, hyped over another one-hit. Even the VIP fighters were staring. They eyed the rich kid's moves, wondering if that was his only party trick. But everyone realized the hype was actually real. Jinan's skills were absolutely cracked. No cap, the old ref was totally vibing with him. He couldn't chill, yelling, "Now that's epic." He called the next guy up, but the other noobs were shaking in their boots. Next, dude, straight up rage quit. The qualifiers. Ref roasted him, weak sauce at a Dragonfest. "Hand over the badge and get lost," he snapped. He knew most of these guys couldn't fight anyway. He tossed 3 tokens. Never seen a 2-hit pass before, but this old timer had finally found a beast and was stoked to welcome G. "Can't wait to see you wreck the finals, kid." Day 1 was just clearing out the trash mobs. By sunset, it was time to build the pro bracket. Judges had to rank them by power levels, so the heavy hitters wouldn't clash too soon. The old ref spoke up about the roster. "That fist guy is in a league of his own. He was the first seed. Easy. Word on the street. 2 punches. Insane." Knowing he's OP, they had to rig the chart, just right to keep things somewhat fair. Just then, the Alliance boss walked in. "Good hustle today, team." He grinned. Judges nodded. "Yeah, we put in the work. Picked the best, kicked out the wimps." Boss asked, "Any shady cults crashing the party?" "Nope, totally ghost town," said the elder. "Sweet. That's the vibe we want." Dragon squads? Keep tabs on the winners. Watch their backs. No ambushes allowed. Elders, ensure nobody messes with them. Not the good guys. And definitely not the villains. Break the rules. Straight to the dungeon, with you. The squad hyped up the boss's orders like total fins. Yuch Chong dipped from the judge. "Meet." Hong begged me to save the fighters for the cloud. Then the big boss pieced out, leaving the judges to fix the brackets. Room went dead, silent, awkward. The vibe got heavy since this match meant everything. Next day, the main event kicked off. Judges pulled an all-nighter fixing the matchups. Fans swarmed to place, bringing the whole fam to watch the beat. Yuch Hong was solo in his room, total emo mode. Just vibing with the quiet. Judge popped in like, "Yo, everything's set." Boss saw light spilling in through the open door. My hoe kept whining non-stop. His view was absolute trash. He wanted VIP seats just cause he qualified. John Wong tried to bet his rival on the match. Hoon knew he'd win, so why risk it, dumb? They roasted each other for being Leader felt like a boomer, getting flashbacks. He saw his bestie's face, like a brother, but then ... blood everywhere. Big oof. Then his buddy John Wong got stabbed in the back. Literally. Dying, Jean told John to take the wheel. Hoon had to hunt the biggest baddie in Orin. Become boss. Stop the demon creeps from bolting. But Hoon was kinda toxic too, since he was boss. His squad literally died for him. Why'd the master start this beef though? The weaklings should have just run for it. He realized only the OP guys should have hashed it out. No need to drag normies into their drama. The boss was shook that he was still stressing over this. He hoped this match would be his final rage. Quit. The crowd went nuts, seeing their idol. A live dude was basically a god to them. People screamed his name like total stans. Hong waved, knowing he was totally faking it. Boss started his big intro speech. Said 45 years back, a broke kid came here, and now look, Jin and the squad tuned in to the boss. solid dude, mad respect. Back then, winning a scrap or two was a major flex. Sometimes folks got deleted by accident though. Like round 1, when that OP master took the dub. High tier clan guy. Round 2, Golden Blood Sect 1. The runner-up, Chong Wang, crashed at the Alliance base. Eventually, that guy unlocked the Star Sword skin. By then, Chong Hong was already maining the Water Moon. No prize pool, but elders just gave swords for clout. Drama happened. Now Ye Chong Han is stuck here forever. Getting that water? Moonblade made the kid grind way harder. Now Mim is spilling the tea on today's loot drops. Yuch Chong Hong put up that ancient That 100-year-old root had the pros shook. Rare drop. Can't even wail for it with cash. Boss said, Abaswan was broke. Couldn't fund students, so gifting this to a noob was wild. Plus, Bose is tossing the Star Sword to the tourney. Bet his ghost bestie is watching from above. Loving it. Boss also wanted to gift his Water Moonblade, but couldn't let it go. So, the Goosesmiths cooked up a fresh sword just for this event. Everyone knows Goosesmith's craft. God tier gear for the Hua Mountain elites. Winner gets to name the sword whatever they want. Gray hair now, but his Water Moonblade stays sharp. No matter how much time flies, that blade never gets crusty. We gotta stay pure like that. Keep it 100. When you game over, you're judged on vibes, not stats. So, at this Bash 100, prizes are no strings attached. Cause all these sect dudes get the righteous drill. Then the boss declared the dragon, and Phoenix Rumble is live. Mungho dug the speech, said the old guy had aura. Jinan just smirked at that. He hated treating everyone like basic NPC, not about pride or whatever, just the rants of an old dude who lost too much. But this geezer is sticking to the old school rules till the end. He's crashing out on stage for his rep, total drama queen. He digs the crazy masters, but the strict ones ain't always perfect. They mess up too. Jin's daydream got cut by the loudmouth announcer. First up, Fist Warrior versus Double Spear from Hay. Get in the ring, ASAP. Jin stepped up, ready to vibe check this orthodox dude. Game faces on. Jin was empty-handed. Other guy had 2 pointy sticks. Jin's first time fighting a dual-wielding weirdo. Spear guy looked shook. He stared at Jin's bare hands. Like, you serious? You bring in just knuckles to a spear fight? Jin nodded. They call me Fist King for a reason, bro. Spear dude realized there's levels to this game. Never seen this random. KID. Figured he was a total noob. Easy clap. Ref yelled fight. And bailed? They charged straight in. Spear guy panicked. Jin was moving like water. Too fast. If he gets close, I'm toast. So he tried to zone him. Vaulted off the floor. Jumping super high. Jin just chilled and waited. Then he caught both spears midair. Dude's jaw hit the floor. Total glitch. Attack blocked with 0 weapons. Didn't see the boot smashing into his face? They kick-yeeted him across the whole stage. Right into Elder's lap. Best seat in the house. Not dead, just knocked out cold. Ref called it. Fist Warrior wins. Jin tried to hide his smirk. Crowd went silent. That's it. They wanted a movie, not a Mungho clapped, hyping up his OP teacher. Chiong waved, dying to fanboy over the skills. Hua, Inwal, strolled out too. Say hi. Mungho was like, yo, ... poisonous fox. Not umbrella. Jin said thanks. Yunwa led at the name. Ho asked, when you fightin', pretty boy? Dude replied, nah, I'm not. In the bracket, just admitted he caved. And Dohan started talking trash and dropped a massive bag of coins on Jin. That stack was fat enough to cop 3 whole man. Jinan gave a thumbs up, promising Hua wouldn't lose a single cent on this gamble. Anyway, Jinan had to spill the tea about those gift gloves from the Hua fam. Just yesterday, the old judge was yapping about how they were stitched from top-tier heavenly silkworm threads. Jin agreed the old man was spot on, those mitts were legit treasures. See, the Beckley boss gifted him a blade a while back, and dude totally vibed with it. To return the favor, he handed over these gloves, cause the Bachi clan has been obsessed with swords for ages and figured someone else would actually rock the gloves better. Jin tuned in close, trying to connect the dots. So the Beckley big shot was hyped about the sword, the Hua siblings packed blades, and the young master had a fan dude's got a whole arsenal. Obviously, the Hua clan is flexing way more power than people realize. Right then, the guy everyone bet on stomped into the ring dragging a massive black blade. Dohan was ranked high, so this match was going to be a Mo couldn't get why every fighter thought they were the main character. Do they own a mirror, or check their stats? Sure enough, Doan's rival got wrecked in seconds. The ref shouted Doan's name as the winner. As he hopped off the stage, Hua gave his buddy a casual wave. Dohan was buzzing 1-hit KO. No drama, easy win. He rolled up to the squad and asked if Mr. Hua was still feeling risky with his cash, or if he'd regret betting on the merchant kid. Hua acted like he was deaf, dug a finger in his ear, and gave the guy a confused look. Do-han smirked, sad that the future top advisor has such trash instincts. Mung-ho, the sassiest one of the bunch, wasn't crying. He straight up called Do-han a moron. The others tried to hush the kid up immediately, but he shrugged, saying he never dropped names, so what's the big deal? Do-han caught the shade, pulled his steel, and dared the worm to say it again. He didn't think he'd get caught and totally freaked out at the blade. The kid started stuttering that the sword looked super like his black iron umbrella and maybe Do-han would let him borrow it. Do-han couldn't tell if this guy was brave or just insane. He didn't want the drama and said they'd scrap in a duel later. Mo shot back that he wasn't, even in the tourney, so stop being so extra. Basically, no harm, no foul. Do-han turned to dip but froze, deciding to teach this clown a lesson right now. Hua felt the vibe get toxic and tried to chill Do-han out, but right then, a new player showed up, shoved in, yelling for everyone to bounce. It was Namgunwi, top sword of Namgun. Turns out, our dudes were blocking his vibe. Wang Ho, sassy as ever, just snapped. Straight up, who invited you to this chat? Namin rolled his eyes at Donko for wasting mana on scrubs and fighting normies. Dude probably had way too much time? Donko Han just stuttered Gunwi's name. Frozen, stiff. Everyone knew he was the Sword Emperor's grandkid. Looked just like his legendary Gramps too. Yumbanamon, we have that pro fighter energy. He also clocked young Mr. Lee from the merchant crew. Naman should be fighting, not meddling, but guess he was bored out of his mind. Naman said he'd already crushed his duel and was dipping. Mung-ho was totally lost on what was happening since Donko Han just finished his match. Namong was like, one-hit KO. Bro, so he had to step in. So, the dude didn't waste time while the ref dragged the next loser out. Jinyan wasn't shocked. Nam Gunwi fights end in a blink. Cue the intense stare down between the tourney. Who knows how it'd end if two hotties hadn't walked up right then. Wyan Sol told her bro, her friend wanted to say hi. Hu Yun Sol was hyped to see Lady Beck after forever. She thanked him for the sword gift, said it was super useful. Then Hey Yunel introduced the girl to the guys hanging around. After some chit-chat, the girls bounced. Donko and Nam Gun saw. She idly way longer than the rest. Now the guys bonded over hating their new rival. Tourney rolled on. Round 1 winners told to wait up. The fighters chilled intense. Wei Will checked if Jinyan was ready. Jin was chill, said he was totally ready to scrap, but he wondered why dudes were glaring daggers at him. Hua Yan Wall reminded him. He already spilled the tea on the love triangle. Both simps wanted Lady Beck. Now they hated Jin Yan's guts. Mung Ho, blunt ass, always, said this drama was all over a girl. Why be a clan heir if you act like a thirsty fool? He added. Jinyan couldn't take it, told his bro to chill with the talk. Reminded him Donko held back. And thanks to that, Mung Ho was still breathing. Also, thanked the girls for that. Chang Ho played the teacher's pet role, bowed, and swore he'd be good. The siblings watched the whole chat, totally hyped that a bromance was blooming between these weirdos. But yo, time for round 2. Janan blitzed his match. His rep was blowing up on the leaderboards. 2 wins to the final. Next up, that oddball fighter, Donku Han, beaten him in semis against Namgun. Looks like he'd have to solo the toughest bosses. Meanwhile, Hainan's top dog, Golden Sand's sword, Wei Mok Chong, plus a Hua, mountain rep, the wandering plum, Blossom, Jinyo. Ref called the fist guy and the legend Donko Han to the stage. Jin hopped in, peeking at Miss Beck, who was kinda into this caveman who just knew how to smash stuff. They squared up, and Boom Arena trashed before anyone blinked. Like, no way the massive stone ring just crumbled into pebbles. The big boss watched and yelled to keep the show rolling. Don't stop. Yujin Hong wanted action but had to keep the crowd safe. The fighters were totally chill though. Donko Han was okay shook. One step did that. Insane. How much grinding to get that open? Han figured the guy blew his cooldowns and rushed him. Jinan started charging juice in his fist, leveling up fast. Han realized this kid had serious ki to Hua, Unuwal, Nui made. The sickest play betting big bucks on young Master Li. Jin maxed his lightning gauge. Finally, ready to rumble? Janan wasn't gonna just flail around and fan the air. Dunhan was still trying to read the room and saw his rival was not just a tank, but also copying Grandmaster moves Graze for a rich merchant kid. He tried to block or just nope out of the way. Now he got why Wang Sen took the L against this dude. Jin sensed the fear. The guy was too frozen to even use his skills. Han felt the loss coming, but refused to listen. Stubborn as heck. Jin tapped the sword in Han's grip with just 2 fingers. Easy peasy. It was totally epic. He flicked the sword right out, launching it across the arena until it stuck into the stone. Now, it was obvious. His rival wasn't just buff, he was glitched out, invincible. Total fail for Khan. 0 hits landed and he lost his loot. So embarrassing. He couldn't even pull off the level 1 move now. His clan started wondering if he was even leader material. Donka was way too green to be acting like the boss. Jinin just chilled, waiting for the kid to reboot. Finally, Danko hopped up and grabbed his stick again. Kid claimed he hadn't even started trying yet. Whipped out a gold blade, screaming, "I am Danko Han, baby." He had the heaven-wrecking skill, focusing all juice on one spot. Looked cool, but honestly, in this scrap, that move was useless. Jinin felt your sword and body got a vibe as one. Danko's blade was a brick, and his brain was a chaotic mess. Flashy white lightning blinded the refs in the crowd. At first, Danko was totally lost on what was going down, then felt his mojo draining fast. He was clueless. Inner demons started yapping in his ear. Turns out the Danko squad wasn't exactly hype. Now it makes sense why nobody rates them. Just a loud, empty bucket rattling around. Danko tried to unfry his brain and clear the fog. Stress was peaking. He screamed at the voices to shut up. He was shook that his rival was stone-cold eyes, blazing with savage energy. Everyone knows sheltered rich kids have the worst demons. It's 'cause of the pressure from society and minions that hurts more than a punch. Buff, body, weak, mind, sword, betrays you, game over. To survive that, gotta master your inner zen. Need a mental anchor to keep your cool. Basically, that heaven move is about focusing scattered vibes. Gotta gather your wandering brain cells into one spot. Danko was like, got it, and tried the combo again. Kid focused up, kicked the demon out, and actually pulled it off. Jinin swerved and teleported next to him, whispering that he got lucky facing a nice guy from the Orthodox crew. Didn't get to finish his chat. Bonked Danko's head, sending him flying on his butt. Only had time to stare at the sky and respect the skill. Jinin looked like a giant, totally out of his league. Han knew he was totally doomed. Jinin made the kid rise and spam the skill. Rinse and repeat, like a broken bot. Time to clutch up. 0 mistakes allowed. GJ, it's over, a voice boomed. Han eyed the blade dude. Don't get that punch guy is camping you. Keep acting like a clown and you'll roast the whole Danko squad. Boss couldn't see how he'd face his dad after flopping that hard. But if he treated duel like a tutorial, he could grind XP for the next level. Duncan totally got the vibe. He tossed his sword, dipped his head, and rage quit the match. Right after Danko Han spun around and ghosted the ring, ignoring everybody. Jinyan won, but honestly, he wasn't even feeling it. Match over, but the crowd didn't bounce. They stayed to spill tea on the drama. Namangwi was salty. He didn't get to wreck the guy himself. But this setup was honestly way spicier than he expected. Now, Namgungwi could personally wipe that smirk off his face. Post-match, Huayinwol dapped him up, said GG's, and gave him props for the win. Namangwi was shook that Jinan had kept his true power level hidden till now. Dude was playing for D-chess. Namangui was actually hyped. He had 0 clue how to counter Young Lee. Priority 1. Don't get owned as hard as Danko Han. Dungo Strut was basically just smashed with brute force. But that Unga Bunga style didn't work on Jin. Skill-wise, Jin is cracked. But Nam Gungwi had the cheat codes. Once Nam Gungwi took an L, he ran to Gramps and confessed everything. Thought he'd win, but Gramps wrecked him at checkers too. Gramps said blind confidence is for noobs and Namong blood means you're always top tier. You gotta control the map, not just push buttons. Granson gotta remember the Namong clan ain't NPCs. He has to run the whole lobby. That's the only vibe for the Namgung squad. Nangwei knew he had to bait the enemy into his trap first. Finally, duel time dropped, and the Namong clan's top fragga stepped into the arena. Next, Lai Jinyan, the fist main, joined the chat. They squared up, hyped the crowd, and got ready to throw hands. The crowd went feral screaming for their biases. Mangan-ho was standing her teacher hard, praying for a dub. Jinyong scanned his foe and saw that this dude was way more chill and serious than dumb. He decided to aggro first and rushed in. Naman, we got his sword up. The punch dinged the blade. Jinya saw his opponent's core didn't even twitch. That dude had the ruler's sword skills down pat, so things were getting super real. Hua Yanwal was glued to the action. Clocked in Among, we spamming the 8 strikes combo. Usually, that sword style drains your mana bar with crazy precision. But right now, it was basically a defense buff. Touch it, and say bye-bye to your stamina. The only cheat code to beat it is vaulting over the empty spot up top. Jin Yan wasn't falling for that bait. He popped his own shield instead. Wanted to see how the guy would react if he went off script, so he just charged in. Namong, we didn't expect a full-on rush. Only a total psycho does that. Despite the shields, Jin Yan smashed through and wrecked his ribs. Dude went flying. Jin Yan wanted to see if he could handle some mind games next. Namongwi stood up, wiping blood, thinking this match was a total joke. Breaking swords with bare hands. Crazy. He chilled out to reset the vibe. Both squared up too. Keep going. Namong, we attacked first. Big mistake. The crowd saw him get blocked instantly. 0 damage. Jin Yan stood his ground, looking totally He realized this guy actually mastered the Sword Emperor tech and could stomp most noobs. But to be the top dog on the server, he'd have to outlevel the Emperor himself. Even with Namung's skills, Jinyan treated this like a tutorial for the boss fight. Namungwi was already gassed out. His swings were whiffing hard. He was losing hope until he spotted a glitch in the pattern. Palm, fist, kick. Then palm, fist, kick again. Loop detected. Namungwi downloaded the combo. Knew a palm strike was next. He prepped a counter. But Jinyan LOLD in his face. Wrong move. Bro, eat this punch. Namon took the hit, realizing this fist fighter was playing him like a fiddle. It was obvious that the rulebook was thrown out the window from the start. He was dealing with a variable he'd never seen before. The Namon clan always tries to control the game, but Jinyan just flips the table and makes his own rules. Namong, we sat in the wreckage, head down, totally clueless. The crowd was buzzing, shocked that the Namgon clan got owned so fast. His minions ran up, asking if he was good. Panic mode on. Namonwi was leaking blood from his forehead. Not a good look. But he just zoned out, ignoring them. He only saw one face. Ladybag. The crew scraped their boss off the floor. Namongwi stared at the ring, totally confused by the L he just took. Dude really thought he was the main character running the game. But nope, reality check, he's just a pawn on the board. Namongwi bowed and shouted out his loss like a man, thanking his rival for schooling him big time. Jin grinned, saying owning it that loud was a total Chad move. They'd clash again since Namgun was top tier with a blade. Namongwi bounced, plotting that next time he'd cook up a strat his rival couldn't smash. Jin won. The Simianda squad rushed in to hype him up. The golden sand sword, Mekong, slid over to Jin, dap him up, saying that Brawl was sick to watch. Epic fight. He added he couldn't wait to face him in the finals. Just then, some other player walked by and straight up called cap on Machung's talk. Everyone knew he was the one destined for the finale versus Fist Guy. Machung smirked. Bro can try, but he ain't gonna make it. Right then, the Plum versus Golden Sand. Semi was called. Jin just whined about being starving. The fighters hopped in the ring and nodded, hello? Ref signaled, and one dude blitzed in with a whirlwind move. He was going full tryhard mode to snag the win. Opponent blocked fast, but neither side got the upper hand. Munchu watched and roasted him, saying that warrior was doing way too much just to flex for the crowd. Word was, their sect risked actual lives. Sparring. So yeah, zero fear in that sword swing. He figured the Manhwa fighter had this in the bag. Jin wasn't buying it though. Goldsand kept grinning while the Plum guy spammed 24 moves. He tried the blooming whirlwind, but it was useless. His opponent showed him who was boss, real quick. Dude tried his best, but the golden thread needle strike hit, dropping him to the floor, totally code. He couldn't even twitch his hands. Invisible gold threads had him glued. Not even a finger moved. Opponent walked up, sorted his head. You done? It was basically game over already. Only question, was it worth dying over a friendly spar? Jingo tapped out. Still brothers, they agreed to a rematch. Next time, Jingle wins for sure. Finally, the Dragon and Phoenix finalists dropped. Goldsand versus Fist Warrior. Sunset. Hype. Time for the final battle. The crowd was absolutely buzzing, waiting for the main event to finally drop. Everyone knew the Sentry Genius title was legit, so most bet on Golden Sands taking the dub. Others thought Fist Guy was hiding some op skills and would definitely win. But talk is cheap. Best to just watch the showdown. The finalists stepped up. The ref said, sup, and yelled for them to start. Suddenly, Machung rushes in. Sword. Dude threw hands. Weird flex for a swordsman to start with a brawl. Jinan grabbed a kick, spun him like a toy, and yeeted him to count. But wait, turns out, his opponent totally baited him into that move. Right as he towered over Jinan, boom, sword drawn. Jinan barely dodged the blade and the sneaky needle attack that followed. Machin thought, no way he dodges that combo. It's busted. Then Jinan saw sand raining down on his head. Not beach sand, fam. This stuff was charged with energy. He reached out and casually caught the magic dust with his fingertips. If his hunch was right, he could fling that sand right back at him. Machun stood there, totally frozen. The sand just floated in the air like a glitch. Zero damage. The crowd watched, totally clueless why the fight was lagging out. Even the big boss Mim and Elder Song were squinting, trying to figure out the plot twist. Only Machung knew he didn't stop the threads himself. Jinan actually froze him with some crazy invisible force. Those threads were barely visible, yet the guy copied the cheat code and controlled them. Machan realized he was totally outclassed here. He walked up, shook hands, and admitted he took the L, hoping for a fair rematch down the road. So, we got a champ. The Alliance boss happily shouted the winner's name. The Fist Warrior was officially the king of the tournament this year. Golden Sands, Fist Guy, and Namgun got called to the stage. Yizhang Hun, The host wanted to hand out the epic loot. Nam Gunwei was set to snag the supreme Starblade, a sword the boss treasured like his own kid. Back in the day, Jin Hun was a legend with that blade. Nangunwi was puffed up with pride. Huge honor, right? He figured the boss wouldn't give this swag to just anyone. Then he realized he'd been too cocky. He took the sword nervously, promising to keep it safe. Next up, Ma Chongwei was called for his prize, called a century genius. And yeah, he totally wowed the crowd today. The dude was super. He played the humble card, claiming he was total trash next to that Yona guild legend. The big boss hyped him up though, saying he's got ages to level up. Meanwhile, the kid had to dub his shiny new blade. Machong snatched it and yelled, "I dubbed the Golden Sands sword." Super weird choice. Named after a move? Whatever, his sword, his rules I guess. Finally, time to spoil the tourney champ. Jung Hoon told Jinan to freeze right there. Then the boss signaled the White Dragon squad to surround M, while the elders formed a mosh pit near the stage. Everyone else got kicked downstairs. Jin clutched his loot box, wondering what the heck was next. He figured the boss was chill though. Meng Ho was clueless and poked Hua for spoilers. Hua shrugged. Maybe he's gonna munch that root right now. Super risky. One slip up and his energy goes haywire. Looked like the big boss was playing bodyguard. Kinda sus, he cared that much. But Han always babies the rookies. Meng Ho, fanboyed, hard. Not every orthodox dude was a legend, but the leader totally had that wise grandpa vibe. He told the winner to eat the root ASAP. No pressure, right? While the energy buzzes, Jin's body, the whole squad would watch his back. Jin was shook but just nodded. Okay, let's do this, he thought. The dude sat down, staring deep at that veggie box. Life-changing moment incoming. He grabbed the root and started chomping. Back in his hobo days, he never dreamed of this. Or having top-tier bodyguards, letting him power up totally Everyone watched, barely breathing. This stuff almost never happens. Way better than his old loner life. Whole new level unlocked. That essence really boosted his stats. Absorbing that 100-year-old route, insanely fast. Boom. 9th phase white lightning, unlocked. Dawn, Jin told the boss. Speedrun record broken. Cool, the boss said, waving the guards off. The old guy was shook. You good, kid? Jin blushed hard. I'm starving actually. Jun-hoon laughed and told him to grab his squad. Dinner's on me tonight. Epic tourney, epic feast, best day ever. The boss, Hua, Sibs, Jin, and Foxy all sat at one table. It was a weird mix. The champ, the leader, and the fox girl. Teach clocked her student acting unusually quiet, likely because he was dining with the big boss. Super awkward. Boss, you caught the chill vibe. And teased, you, that gambling legend Liz or something? Then he asked Mule, digging the new umbrella? The kid nodded. Yup, and the boss looked pleased. Way cooler than the last one. Keep grinding, kiddo, whose soul listened to the guy talk. Totally lost. Like what is even happening? Herbro was also confused. Why, the top dog was chatting up this random scrub who usually never shuts up. Next, the boss pivoted to the Hua, Airhouse Pops. The village doing okay. Wah Wool stuttered. Fine. But clearly wondered. How the heck the guy knew all that tea? Jin smirked. Knew it. Those two are definitely hiding secrets. Boss waved it off. Relax. Don't stress. I got intel on the shady stuff at the Five Tombs. Makes sense now, Hua mumbled. Boss got serious. You're big clan royalty. Kid, don't forget it. Acting scared is totally cringe. It makes your ancestors look bad. Your ancestors were my squad back in the day, so don't trash their rep. Okay, since the Hua clan is back, you continued, just so ya know, Fist King and Mongu are history. Sword King got the memo to return to the Alliance immediately. Tell your old man to stay ready, so the clan isn't caught napping. If the bad guys strike back, watch your backs. Time to stay extra frosty. Finally, Boss Yu zeroed in on Jin. You gotta level up, get way stronger than this. Jin soaked up the boss's words, realizing the big guy actually believed in him. Be the secret weapon for the good guys. Winning got you clout, but you're not famous enough for demons to hunt you yet. For now, they're gunning for the clan leaders, and yours truly. Jin totally got it, but kept his own goals quiet. At the end of the night, Foxy spoke up. He had zero clue what was up, but everyone was like, don't even sweat it, bro. Right after that, the big boss called it a night to prep for tomorrow, told the squad peace out, and bailed. Hua Unano decided to walk a sis back since she's fighting tomorrow, then return for some uninterrupted bro talk. Yu Jong-hun dipped out stoked his minions were solid, so he could finally catch some Z's in peace. Way past bedtime, the boss roamed the empty, bright halls heading back to his crib. Suddenly, his spidey senses tingled. He wasn't solo. He spun around and spotted his shadow. Sup, boss? The creeper smirked. Been a hot minute, huh? It was the Sword Emperor himself, and he wasn't riding solo. Beside him stood the Sword King Stewed, looking like a bloody mess. The Emperor noted, "Yep, it's the worst-case scenario. The Sword King got jumped by a demon. Crew, meaning the next big war is dropping way sooner than anyone guessed."